welcome to the Golden Feather.
Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Vertec and Shitty Bree, are back from their latest adventure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode with the Golden Feather. Today is February 26th, 2021, and this is episode 69, The Crucible Enters with Crucible Gaming Network. Welcome in, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
And, of course, Vertec.
Hello, everybody.
The one, the only.
The one, the only. But yeah, D2. That's why I was trying to whisper it really quiet in case somebody did jack the volume up. Like, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I'm. You guys hear me if I don't mute myself on the intro, so I have to mute myself and then remind myself to unmute myself.
Been there many times.
I'm not very good at that part.
Me too. I forget, and everybody's like, Missy, you're silent.
Yeah, right. And I'm just like over here just talking and like hand gestures, and I don't know what she's saying, but it must be interesting.
Mime
I think
hour.
I might get her.
Yeah, right.
One of those like easy button things and put it right near like the monitor for her.
Just like,
So, who are you? Where are you? And what do you guys do?
well, I'm Missy, aka Medowin Amara. That's pretty much my gaming name for everywhere you might find me. I'm in Canada, as as you know, and it's actually not as cold as people actually believe. We're warmer than a lot of places in the States, and no, we don't live in igloos.
Wait. I heard it's only because you insulate the entire house with whale blubber, right?
Shh.
And beaver fur.
Yeah, it looks like a regular house, but it's like stuffed with all that, but nobody sees it, so you can't give away our secrets.
She's actually in a magical enchanted forest, as you see.
Yes. So there is a lot of natural, insulation going on out in the forest. So.
It's like a lot of pollen.
Yeah.
A lot of pollen. Well, there might be some sneezing and coughing because we're coming into that season.
Right.
So, yeah. And for work, I'm in customer relations. So,
Nice.
yeah.
You used to work with people then. Yeah.
Oh, that's all I've done for, I won't tell you how many years. Many years.
More than 3. So you're practically an expert.
Yeah, you can almost tack an extra 0 onto that one. So, so yeah, a lot more than 3. So that's me and who I am, and I'm a
Many moons.
lover of MMOs.
Yes.
many moons ago.
You're in with the right crowd, then. You're in with the right crowd.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And how about you, good sir? Give us a grand introduction to yourself.
Well, I am Brad, also Endless 88. Mainly just Endless, but 88 kind of threw on there because people are like, I need to put it on there. Yeah. Where am I? Well, I'm currently overseas, and that correlates to what I do. I work at a U.S. embassy here. So, but going back here in a couple months, finally, I was just telling them how being overseas will definitely make you miss a lot of things you'll take for granted from back, like not even just the States, but just kind of like, especially where I'm at, it's a very poor area. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as what I do for CGN though, pretty much producer, streamer, and like recruiter for certain programs we'll, I guess, talk about later.
Nice.
So,
Alrighty.
So, for those of us that don't know, what exactly is CGN?
Artemis, you want me to say it?
Sure, I know you like. Yeah, you go ahead. I'll let you.
The
You
elevator
like-
pitch. Ready, set,
Yeah.
go.
Right.
He likes this part.
So CGN is Crucible Gaming Network. In the end, technically, it would just take a lot of paying for things to change it. Technically, it'd be Crucible Entertainment Network. Maybe one day it'll change. Being that we're not just gaming, but we're going to be getting into like paranormal videos, card openings as far as Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, whatever.
Nice.
So I mean, there's really nothing that isn't that we're, if we can do it, we like it and it's fun, then we hope to grow the team, get bigger. Like I said, that'll kind of be the Crucible team member program. That's kind of a thing that we're trying to hit up. Like I said, I thought it was funny how you guys hit me up and we were about to start hitting other people up about doing podcasts.
It's like,
Timing is amazing.
who's mind
Speaking
reading?
speaking of timing, Z, wow, no reminder. I think I reminded you at 5:04 p.m. today.
Ooh, the shade.
There may have been a reminder 2 hours early.
2 hours ago. I was like,
Okay, so the
ooh,
alarm
Vertex
snoozed a
in
little bit.
trouble.
The alarm snoozed a little bit. I'm sorry. The snooze alarm snoozed.
That's funny.
Hey, welcome in.
Hey, Lilo.
Yeah. And I guess just to conclude on that is, so Missy is the co-streamer. She's going to mainly be kind of like the main streamer, especially when I'm gone and traveling a lot for my new position back in the States. So we are technically kind of looking for another streamer to be our main streamer with Missy.
Nice.
I
Just
don't
because I
bite.
won't,
You don't
just because
bite?
I won't be, yeah, I won't be around as much. But we do have an editor. His name's Chris, and we have a web designer named he's Eric. I've known him for both quite some time. CGN technically actually started back in 2015 when Twitch was kind of a little baby. It wasn't as popular, and we actually at that point, like the team member program, as I mentioned, we actually had about 80 streamers underneath us, and our website was listing their social media. It was kind of like, you joined us, you got all of their follows, all of their, so if there's 40 people, you join, that means you get 40 follows, 40 likes, 40 subscriptions. Like, it was kind of a, and we're doing that. We're successful. This time around, we're actually doing more content first and trying to build that up slowly. So, yeah.
Nice.
There you go. That works. And thank you, by the way, TL. It's very much appreciated. Gotta love the little bits.
Whoa, 1K bits badge. Nice.
Ooh ha. Nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
nice.
We
Look at
appreciate that.
And
So, Lord may or may not have written a novel. Last time we saw him.
it does. It's all right. It gives us talking points. We love it. We love it.
Yes.
Bring all your topics. Bring them.
So we will be kind of littering the chat with their links throughout the evening. Paranormal activity, I feel like that's more that guy's stuff, because I am terrified of everything. Terrifying. So
Well, I could tell you a little kind of funny story.
yeah.
Many years ago, before anything was ever on television, I had the idea to do live ghost hunts with some friends who had a camera. I went down to a cable access show. I pitched everything. I wrote everything out that they wanted about this, and they took weeks to deliberate on it, came back at me and said, yeah, we don't think there's really an audience for this.
Oh. No, boo. Are you kidding me?
25 years later, they have
you
television.
seen? Yeah.
But there was nothing at the time. There was absolutely
Ahead of your time.
nothing.
That's why it's peak
Ahead of your time.
timing. Oh my goodness.
So I was a little, I guess, out of the gate a little too soon for everybody where that was concerned. But
Yeah. Oh.
what are you gonna do?
Right.
But they did take my friend's son's idea of, taking local bands fishing and asking them questions. I guess that was a little more exciting.
I was raised a country girl. I enjoy fishing, but I probably would have found the paranormal thing way more interesting, just to be honest.
Yeah, I'm scientific and I have a lot of questions.
Right.
Questions are fun, especially when you get to actually adventure out and try to find the answers instead of ask somebody else to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I have my own theories, but you will have to stay tuned and things that have happened to me. So Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so you heard it here. They may be looking for more streamers. So if anybody else is looking to join a team of people doing stuff and things, there's two faces right here for you to contact. We even
And they're
included
in
their
our
names
Discord.
underneath their video.
Yes. That's their @ symbol for Twitter. Yep. And they're in our Discord, so you can get a hold of them there too. Feel free to join our Discord for that. Thank you. And their Discord, they
And
have
that's
their
theirs
own.
as well.
Yeah, so perfect. So how did you guys find about Ashes, and what is your favorite part? And I'm gonna go grab my keyboard. There we go.
Well, I was introduced to Ashes through Brad. That was definitely him, not me.
The root of all the trouble. I see.
Yes.
I see.
Yep.
Yep. So you can take that away.
So I mean, technically, Ashes is, of course, I think everyone, even Asmongold, Lazy Peon, was kind of the the drop in the bucket that just exploded everything. So, and definitely like later on in topics, I think that's something that everyone's grasping for a new MMO RPG. I'm not trying to like give Lazy Peon tabs here, but he just dropped another video talking about, is the MMORPG scene dead?
Yeah.
The best MMOs have came out 2004, World of Warcraft, 2013, Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. And he even said if Ashes fails, he's done with the genre. So, I think everyone's just grasping for something new. Like the whole beat dog thing that Steven said.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's just, here's a new MMO, but it's free. But if you really want to do stuff, you got to pay $5 here, $10 here, $20 here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what brought me with Ashes was mainly Steven, the way he talked about it. Like I think he talked with Asmongold in his car. And he just was
How much
out
more
of his head.
impromptu can you be? Then we're
Right.
on the way somewhere. I don't even know where, but I got time to talk, I guess.
Yeah, so he just he probably thought Asmongold, 60,000, 70,000 people watching him. I should probably call him. Just the passion in his voice and his understanding. Like I said, I played World of Warcraft now for 14 years, Final Fantasy since 2.0 came out. And that story right there kind of tells you something too, from 1.0 to 2.0 and what Yoshi P went in there and literally picked up Ashes and had to, Final Fantasy, Realm Reborn, and now it's one of the biggest MMOs out there. Also BDO, Rift. I've almost played all of them, Star Wars. So seeing what Ashes is bringing with the node system, the world management system, that it won't just be fixed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the next day, or another server. So I think if they can get that right, I think that'll keep everything around. And I think we bring up some other stuff that we'll be getting into that me and Missy's been talking about for a while. So
Nice.
Oh yeah. Well, first off, thank you, Tavern Side Gaming, for renewing the sub. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much.
But I'm kind of along the same boat with you. Like I bumped into the Kickstarter and just watching the passion this guy had, and at that time, me and my friends were in heated discussions about how much of the gaming industry just kind of sucks because producers and studios are being run by people that just have money in the game and that's it. They don't really even know what games are, anything about them, any of the lore behind it, any of the meaning that any of the game itself has, like how they're played, why they're played, nothing. It's all about the dollar bill, and they push stuff out like a factory floor as quickly as you can get it out to be an almost perfect product that's good enough. And
Shareholders
then I
want
bumped
their
into-
money.
Yeah.
I think the game developers themselves they have the passion, but it's the, I hate using that term, but the whip masters, the publishers that are like, and it's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. Talking with Ashes is, because I think it was 2017, right? Is that when the Kickstarter hit?
Yeah.
Getting that date right.
17.
So we're about 4 years now. Things are kind of starting to still kind of take place. And I told Missy, I'm thinking the way, especially after what Steven said today, I'm thinking like 2-3 years still for this game to come out. And listening to other people talk about like Final Fantasy and other other podcasts, stuff like that, is brought up a good point of, you start a game, but if it takes you 10 years to come out with it, unless you are updating that game accordingly and the hardware accordingly, you're going to have a 10-year-old game. Like, by the time it comes out, is it still going to be as fresh? It's like the stuff you've been working on is no longer, acceptable technically by the time you finally release it. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? They're still putting their team together. The money might not all be there. So COVID, it's probably a huge thing. So yeah. And also, if I talk a lot, just tell me to shut up. 'Cause I can definitely talk a lot.
But yeah, I know with Steven, like it kind of took a different path, because even at the time I knew it was a little bit of a stretch when he said before 2020. Yeah, I don't know about that, but
Hi, Jade.
thank you, Wizzy, thank you, Crucible Gaming Network with a tier 3.
Thank you.
My. Actually, I just noticed that part.
Yeah, right. Me too. I was like, oh dang.
Really appreciated.
There's a hype train happening now. Oh no. Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Push it, guys. Push it.
Well, you're about to jump on that same board there, Horrendous. You're about to do you are technically right now, but you're about to pick up speed with that, from what I'm seeing your site.
Yes. We were looking at that the other day. It looks really good, by the way. Good job, Horrendous.
But yeah, he had a defined direction he was going to go, and I liked the fact that it was him calling the creative direction. It wasn't a board of people that are going to say we have to do this and that. So that's kind of what hooked me. Like, you're a little ambitious, but ambitious is okay. Yeah. As long as you're going to follow up and go a specific direction, we're good.
Yeah, and I think, the direction, and like I said, we're probably going to still talk about this a little later, but I think that's, and he even mentioned the double-edged sword about showing stuff right now and having such an open development process. Because every time there's a new video, he's stating this is Alpha 1, this is Alpha 1, this is Alpha 1. And today I was listening to the development interview and how he was kind of saying that they ran into some issues, which is good. He said it's not a bad thing. But I was just saying, we've only technically really ever seen 1 through 10, right? Leveling. And not even that much of 1 through 10. That's just kind of what they're showing. And that's why I think percentage wise, it could be less, it could be a little more. I think we're seeing, I think they're about 10% done with this game, if not less. Because you're a coder, so for example, how much code goes into this thing. One little space can jack everything up. And their team's not together. Like I told Missy, everyone's gonna think I'm hating on Ashes, but I'm excited about it. Everyone's grasping for it. That's what I said, everyone's grasping. So if one little thing pops out, it's a shining new egg, But I think 2-3 years still, and that's if the Alpha 1, especially when he said Alpha 1 like opening, like kind of to buy back into it, that he's pushing that out, so that was kind of a okay. And Missy, she's already bought into it for Alpha 2. I haven't bought mine yet. There hasn't been a pack. Well, there has been packs, but I missed them a long time ago. But I'll be doing the big one at least, just to get into the Alpha 2 and everything like that. But I hope to see, it's almost like I want them to tell us where they're at, but I know they don't. I just feel like people think it's coming out sooner than later, but I'm like, I think it's going to come out a lot later than what people are thinking.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I wanted to remind people when we were looking at the dates last week. We're like, hey, this is where we are in terms of what's left over for testing. And in April to May, we're doing Alpha 1, but we don't know when Alpha 2 is even going to be starting, or even pre-Alpha 2 testing for that matter. So there's a lot of unknown things, but I think it's important that Intrepid's going very slowly this time and making sure that they're producing dates that they can keep instead of hopeful for, you know. And I mean, as they said on the live stream, you know, sometimes things happen, and they had the really cool battle that was really awesome. Steven died really fast.
Like, oof.
I was listening to it in the car because I was driving, so I had it only on audio, and I just hear, "Oh no, I'm dead already. Are you looting me? What the heck?"
That's funny.
Got looted multiple times. Yeah, I think when I was writing down notes from the show, I was like, oh, how do I put it here?
At one point, he was like, I don't know who won.
Dual prep. Action starts at this time. Steven clicks and gets hurt a lot. Like, ouch. Thrice.
Thrice.
And the next one, Steven still making excuses 20 minutes later.
Oh gosh, yeah, it was funny because he was like, I'm old. Steven. I'm really bad at this. I'm old. And I'm like, but aren't there, like, you know, older people that are playing this that might be better? That's not a good enough excuse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, we love you, Steven. We're just poking fun because we love you.
So I heard something about tanks and bikinis.
Oh, yeah. I was searching through because, you know, we like to research our guests, and I was watching the one with the tanks, and you're like, you know what I like? You know what I like? She's not wearing a bikini.
Well, she was in armor that actually looked like her male counterpart, which is like,
Actually covered bits that might get struck when you're trying to tank things.
Right? You're standing in the same suit of armor in an MMORPG game, and the guy is head to toe in a full suit of armor, and then there's the girl beside him in the same outfit for women, and it's like a bikini and a thong and maybe some heavy duty boots.
I mean, who doesn't love fighting shit on your boots?
Easy.
And not a scratch on her after, you know, getting covered in a bloodbath and battles. It's like, okay, yeah.
Missy.
Yeah.
Brad.
Magic.
No, see, you always pull the magic card, but if there's magic, then the guys should be in a thong too.
Hey, in Final Fantasy 14 they are.
And you know, I think the guy can put on the short shorts too. I think I saw a Belf run around in short shorts during Christmas one time.
Yeah. There. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of that.
My thing is, I was worried that they're gonna make the women's armor look just like the guys, you know. But like, one example of what I liked that was like, I don't know, to me this is hot in a different way, and I'm sorry, I know we're not trying to appeal to sexiness necessarily, but the oh man, I forgot what the name of it was. Or Mandalorian, the lieutenant in that. Cara Dune. Perfect example of what badass, sexy armor looks like for a woman. Like, or the female Mandalorians, you know, like that was clearly like some armor because they're the Mandalorians, but it was still like more feminine. That's all I was wanting.
Yeah,
like, just
I love pretty dresses. Give me pretty dresses. I'm good with that. Make me look pretty. Make me look cute. It doesn't have to be a suit of armor. Maybe it's like made of, you know, Kevlar. Yeah, it could be Kevlar.
Ball gown. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They make like button-down shirts in Kevlar, so. Like, just give me something feminine, pretty, but, you know, I don't have to be, you know, boobs falling out, you know, thong up my rear end, you know.
That's okay, Cash. I'm not going to be wearing a thong in game. I'm going to be looking for the bikini sling, the one that goes like way out over the shoulders. I'll be looking for that one.
The Borat?
I promise, no thongs. No thongs. Just one of those.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
That would be interesting, though. I would like to see that, because then it's equality there. That's
evasion tank, okay? Evasion tank. The less I'm wearing, the quicker I can move.
That's true. Yes, you're more aerodynamic.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking is like a mage tank. You know, if you mix those together.
Yeah.
Like
that works.
Your damage is on a shield. Plus, I think we showed a couple of them, but their older mage videos actually shows the mage. They haven't shown any more of that set, but that outfit,
like the grand robes and everything.
Yeah, like that one was actually good. You know, you could actually see some, like, you know, I'm not saying bikini, but, you know, show some skin.
He needs an adult. Sorry.
Yeah.
You could have like maybe a nice V cut.
Yeah, you know.
This is fantasy.
True story. True story.
Then I watch
Sure.
Chippendales Fighters. I watch some Chippendale Fighters then.
I'm sorry,
it.
I
There
love
you go.
chat right now.
Create an
Only
entire
fair.
raid group based on that alone.
Oh gosh.
Title it the Chippendales, and that's what we'll go in. We'll go in with Chippendale style armor.
Right.
Every one of us.
You know, like bow ties and shorty shorts. There you go. And full equality. Then I'm good with that.
I pretty much say the base game will probably have conservative armor, but their store over time, it'll be more. I would
Some
say,
more creative and interesting things. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's kind of how
Be able to mix
BDO
it around a
works.
little bit.
Yeah.
But speaking of media stuff, so again, I was digging around. I was curious. I was looking through your Ashes video specifically because, like you were saying, you do a lot of different games and a lot of different stuff, like the card openings and then the video games, and just talk about this and that. But 3 of your highest viewed videos overall, but definitely for Ashes, were a Ranger deep dive, when there was an intro and discussing the Bard, and then the world map. And they were pretty far ahead of everything else. What do you think made those 3 more popular? Do you think that it was the topic specifically, or were they timed around maybe hype trains, or?
No, I mean, what we've been doing is kind of been breaking down, and we're breaking it further because, like I said, we're not expecting this game to probably be out 3 years. So we're kind of like stretching out as much as we can without overstretching it. But the Ranger, I mean, there has been no video on it. There has been like Summoner for me is what I'm looking for, and there's been nothing on that. But I think Ranger, people like the bows, and I think just finding out, because they at least have the attacks listed for them. So to me, I saw Ranger as the counter to Mage. If you look at the attacks and how they kind of the Ranger can break out a lot of stuff with the Mage, and the Ranger can also hinder the Mage too. So the Bard one, I think, yet again, we don't really have more information on that one either.
Because Bard is amazing.
Yeah.
And a well-planned Bard, actually.
And in that video, Messi actually thought of something about a Bard tank called the Siren. And I'm like, oh, Siren. And it's like, well, you would sing to attract like a taunt,
Because the sirens lured the ships onto the rocks to kill the sailors, right?
1000%.
They're beautiful songs. They were lured by those amazing voices.
I want this dress, but like mermaidy style, so that I can wear that and then call myself the Siren.
Yes.
There we go.
I'm sure mermaid things coming. Like they've been talking a lot about water and ocean and all that
Like
stuff.
by
so
lack of boof armor. What about butt armor?
Good play, Z. Good play.
Oh my. Ooh.
Yep.
I can just see chapless tank or assless chap tank. There you go.
There we go.
Hey,
That's the words.
I'm okay with that.
Hey, you don't really need to protect behind you. I mean, that's why you got Rangers hanging out behind the tank, right? So they can guard your flank and your rear.
Yeah.
Literally guarding your flank.
Oh my gosh. I can't. Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, me, oh my.
But you get crits on the booty.
But you get Chris.
that's funny.
So, did you guys have a chance to check out the live stream today? I know you were both working, so I'm not sure if you had time.
I
did.
didn't.
She did.
It's all
But
good.
I did.
10 minutes.
I started with I kind of got when they got into the video, and I was watching that a little bit. I will have to say, so the mount, like the Raptor, when he got on the Raptor, I was seeing the fluidity of the movement of the Raptor, really good. Their character movement is starting to kind of have that weight system now to it, like BDO, and you bump into another, you actually like, so you have that kind of like wobble going on now instead of the kind of like stick figure, just like,
Yeah.
so that was good to see. So it's like it's coming together, and I'm liking what I see, even the way the mounts move. So they're doing that right.
I like how he was. Steven was heavily entertained by the way that what are those ones called? the little lizard he was on, how those move in the water, and that's how he chose which one they had to ride.
Oh,
yeah,
I
that,
did
like,
see that.
yeah.
I like how it swims.
Yeah.
Yeah, scale runner. That's it.
Scale runner.
Sometimes
yeah.
I draw a blank. Wordsing is hard.
To be honest, people worry about stats and stuff. But I think cosmetic, technically, for me personally, cosmetics is a huge thing. Appearances, customization. That's kind of why like New World for me right now is kind of like, because I go on there and I'm like, man, this looks like a 2030 game. Character customization wise, and literally the dudes and the women had the same haircut. So yeah,
yes,
and beard.
I kind of missed the boat on even testing the New World thing. Like a bunch of my friends had read up on it, and I said, sure, I'll submit my request to join the beta test, and I just never jumped into it because by the time I got an invite, everyone else was really disappointed by what happened. So I
tried it right before like they were doing the open beta, and the combat was cool and all that stuff, and like it looked really pretty, but my review on the customization, I like ripped into Amazon. I'm like, you guys own the world and this is what you give us? Like you
could do it better.
Well, what happened was another podcast I was listening to a long time ago, an old vanilla WoW developer for WoW, World of Warcraft, was saying how the guy that originally had the idea for New World, the director, left. They let him go because they went with the democratic way of development, which you're not supposed to do, and people wanted more PvE. It was supposed to be survival PvP. And that's what he designed the game to be. And when they said, nope, you need to be PvE, we need to have dungeons, we need to have raids, we need to have all this stuff, he left. And so literally it's a game with no identity and no Yoshi P. And literally I say Yoshi P because Yoshi P was the one that actually was, you had to have really strong leadership to pull a game 180 degrees and go back the other way. And New World, as you see, delayed again. So
it's a shame when you see so much promise get totally flipped upside down.
Well, and something new, right? That's everyone's grasping for something new, and that's like, and
there was your something new. It's not so new anymore.
Yep, tank.
So did any one or two things pop out as being like favorite points of the dev stream? I know a lot of it was taken up with that the gameplay video. Or was it just the raptor thing? Was that the one big thing that stood out to you?
So the raptor, the combat is looking crisper when he was easily switching between like tab targeting and then the action combat, which I know some people, I've been watching a couple of people talk about how like BDO's fighting style. To be honest, I think Ashes is taking a lot of stuff from Black Desert Online in a good way. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of it in there, and the combat, hands down, some people won't always agree, but BDO has like the best combat. Like it just feels good. It's satisfying to play. It's free. And today when I saw Steven swinging around the staff and just the way it looked and the smoothness of it, and how his spells, I did see the fireball, they fixed it. That was another thing. The animation stuff, like when you're casting a spell and it's like, I'm going to get you. Yeah, like at least now it's like, it's different. It's quicker, there's not a lot of wind up, like, which was one thing that we saw with the mage video, right? Was everything was, all right, and then we're okay, now it's and cast a spell, like, so those things stood out to me. The movement of things, I mean, it's always looked really good, and I think going back as far as the Q&A, I think you were talking about it, was because this is a topic that I wanted to about the quest objectives. You said no hand holding.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm jumping.
Question. No, that's fine. That's what, like I said, it's more about the conversation. But yeah, maybe everybody in chat will be able to give some input on that too. With and what he's talking about is during the one quest where the pages get blown in the air, and he had to go and talk to the guy, and then he had to hunt down the guy's pages, and he opens the map, and there's all the dots for all the pages and where they went, and that kind of, it immediately popped in my head. Is that kind of reversing a little bit on the, no hand holding thing? Just to give you guys background on what that was talking about specifically. Because I don't know, I don't necessarily see a big issue with it so much as I think some people might. They might see that, oh, he said no hand holding, and then there's dots on a map. But like, how far is too far for hand holding? Because you got to figure when you're translating what you would see as a person in that situation right there is going to be different than what you see on a video game screen. So there's got to be a little bit of hand holding, because like casual conversation doesn't happen with NPCs unless you have 9,000 audio lines and text lines for every NPC out there. That way you can just find out, hey, did you see where those papers went? Yeah. And stuff like that. So, I mean, I can see a little bit of handholding being okay, and what they did, I think, was all right. But what's your take on it? Do you think that was potentially going to cause a ripple with people?
I see. I'll let you go first because I have a lot of stuff to say.
I don't know. I think you have to have a certain amount of hand holding because people don't want to devote a lot of time for looking for things and looking around or being stuck. They want to kind of be able to get through something. So, I mean, hand holding is always going to be subjective. What I think is hand holding, somebody else may not think is hand holding at all. So, is that hand holding? It's a minor little thing, but a lot of people they just don't have patience anymore. They just want to get in, they want to get out, they want to do things, so is a little bit of hand holding okay? Yeah, I think so. And I think people are going to actually want that in the end, except for your hardcore, die-hard gamers, probably not, but most people aren't like that anymore. That's just not your general audience.
Well, the other thing that I would like to input is also, I remember when I might make some of you feel old, I'm sorry, but when I first started playing World of Warcraft, I was 13, and I think that was around like Burning Crusade, and my dad was playing with me, and I was super into it, and like shortly after that, Cataclysm had come out when I finally had my own account and everything, and by then I was about 15-ish, and there's like only so much that you can comprehend as like a younger person, but as an older person, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, let me like go like scope that out. But as a younger person, you're like, where do I find the thing? What do I do? I don't know. So I feel like while they don't have the giant quest marker above the person, they do have a little bit of like, hey, this is kind of an idea of where to go next. And I feel like that's okay because, I mean, I feel like a lot of us, especially like with World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and stuff like that, we're used to stuff like that in the game. But I think they did it a fair amount. Like, I feel like it's a good amount of hand holding, if you will, but it's just like, hey, this is the next place that you go. And as you see, they're just like, nope, never mind. Let's just go over here and, I don't know, duel or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I make some small allowances. Like I kind of agree on I don't want to see giant question marks on the map and stuff like that. Let me use a little bit of investigative skill when I get to town. Like you're looking for a cloth merchant named Sal or whatever. Okay, so I need to go to the merchant district, obviously. I need to look for a guy named Sal. And hey, commercials, I love it.
Right?
But you do use a little bit of investigative skill instead of just like going near town and seeing a question mark or an exclamation point and then knowing exactly where you need to go from 3 miles outside the village. You didn't even talk to anybody yet. Like,
yeah.
You at least need to ask around or something. But
yeah, right. Agreed.
All right.
And here we go.
All right. So it was hard. I was like, okay, patient, brother, patient. Yeah. I have to apologize to Missy. I can talk over her. I just talk. But anyways, so the no hand holding equates to the whole, risk versus reward versus difficulty of the game. And I think not last week, but the week before that, you guys had your podcast, and you mentioned it was casuals are going to pay your bills. And if casuals can't play the game, and the amount of time that they are allowed. And a lot of us, technically, like myself, have been forced casual because of being an adult. I am no longer a kid, and I can no longer sit on a computer for 18 hours a day. So even if you've seen the way that Final Fantasy's kind of made up and down, they'll think, oh, your quest is up, your quest is down, little markers. Even WoW now has a little bitty marker that actually shows to kind of lead you to a place. Yes, does it take away the exploration of it? It does. But I feel like in the end, casuals pay your bills. The hardcore players, yes, they'll be there, but I mean, this is a brand new game. It has one backer practically, a lot of mini backers, right? But Steven is the backer, unless like they explode. But so already he said 1 to 50 would take you, if you played 6 hours a day, 45 days. So me and Missy, we did the math on it. She said, okay, I could play 20 hours a week. That's 90 days to get to 50. That's 3 months. I'm not saying that that's bad, but technically 3 months normally is a whole patch cycle. For some games, they like to keep that 3-month rotation going. And being that you can't, and I'm pretty sure a lot of things are going to change over time. I feel like there's a lot of strict points are like, Steven wants this way, Steven wants this way, Steven wants this way. And yes, he's paying for it, but also Steven has to look now, okay, I like it, I want it this way, but I have to give up that because the people aren't liking it. And I think we're going to see a lot of up and down with that over time. Because if something's too hard, and unless the reward's really good, for example, I'm working on upgrading my ship on BDO. It's probably taken me about 6 months and I'm still not done with it. But at least at the very end of the tunnel, it's a huge, sexy ship.
Yeah.
So if we can get something like that, which they have mentioned, it's just a matter of the person that can only play 3 hours a day or 3 hours a week. Are they going to go, yeah, I'm going to pay for that subscription. I'm going to buy this game, and to be honest, it's going to be a balancing act as far as that goes with, he wants to make it hardcore, but when you make it too hardcore, even the people that want hardcore, what's the saying? It's like, you think you want it, but you really don't. Because to be honest, like I like harder content. I've always been kind of like the harder person to actually like go do the harder stuff, tougher content. But if they're going to make these dungeons going to be 7-hour dungeons and I only have 2 hours to play, am I ever going to actually go into that dungeon? I don't know if I will. It's what kind of sucks, right? It's just, all of us are in our 30s, 40s, people that are grasping for something new, or older people now. And the younger generation doesn't want to do as much work, like Missy said, doesn't want to do that much work for reward. So it's like, do you make the game for the old people or do you make the game for this? I think you have to try to like make it in the center of.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a balance to be struck, like you're saying. And even Wizzy said something, exact placement on the minimap is a bit meh. I prefer an area radius, but wouldn't complain unless 70% of quests are like that, 70% plus. And I think that's a decent balance with something like that. Yeah. Like, again, going back to finding, Sal the cloth merchant. So you know that you need to go to a certain section of town. So you get to town and there's a circle there saying he's in this general vicinity. And then you got to find Sal, because you figure if you go to what the root of an RPG is, you're supposed to be playing a role. You're supposed to be, using your mind to do things, like have fun, keep your brain working, but not in a laborious way. Yeah. Like you don't want to get on and suddenly you're right back at work. You just got done filing papers or doing whatever you do for your day job that just makes you want to claw your brain out because it's mind-numbingly blah. And you don't want to sit down to the thing you're supposed to enjoy and have it be a laborious struggle fest as well. Yeah. But
yeah, it's also kind of like what can you get done within an hour? Like, can I progress myself in any way possible within like an hour's time? I think they have to look at things like that. Like if I go on there and I'm only able to, because we know MMOs, they're like the Cookie Monster with cookies with time. It's just nom, 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 nom. You're like, I got an hour, and you sit down. Oh, it's been an hour. I didn't do much. So, going back to BDO, I'm gonna bring it up again. Everything that you do in that game, it adds to your contribution points, your experience points, your alts also include, like everything's kind of built upon each other to enhance each other. And I hope, me and Missy were talking about this, was being that you can only have one character per server, I kind of hope that changes. But that, you know, if your characters can kind of, you know, enhance one another in some form or fashion. Because even in WoW, you could like, I'll send you gold, or, you know, I'll send you armor. You know, because if it takes that long for one character, but you want to play another class, you know, it's like, if things are too tough, you can't have alts. That's kind of like what World of Warcraft has been going with for like BFA. Having multiple alts, I mean, you had to like run islands constant. You had to run like, and everything was RNG. And so, I mean, having alts in BFA was impossible. I mean, people did it, but it wasn't fun. So.
Yeah, and I think that's something as well. Like I'm personally all about putting a lot of time into a character, and without going too crazy into terrible details, I could say that in a game like Final Fantasy, 14, where you can have one character that can have its own separate set of achievements and bank and storage of everything and collection of mounts and such, but you can fit every role. It kind of makes sense to, it should take you a really long time to level. And that's fine, because you're gonna level one character super high up, and then you get a boost for all your experience for the other classes with that same character. And you can boost them up. And that kind of makes sense. But I'm kind of hoping there's gonna be a little bit of a middle ground there, because I do like putting a lot of time into a character, but I also do like alts. And if I can't switch to this or that class with the same character, I want to be able to jump on my whatever today. I want to be my bard today and go around, sing silly songs and slap people with a guitar. Scream El Kabong at the top of my lungs.
And I might want to play, like I love my bunny. I absolutely love my Vera bunny, but I also love my little pink haired Lala too. So, I want both. So you want to have that alt. But you're still, of course, going to have your main and work on your main, but it would be nice to have an alt that you could help progress a little faster, because you just don't have time. Anyone in this world anymore has time to really put time into more than one main character. If you have to start from the bottom up and really, really work.
Yeah,
well, just think about it this way. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to say, Missy, she said 20 hours a week. If you have two characters, that's 6 months.
Yeah.
Trying to get two characters to max level.
And that's 20 hours a week is generous. We're probably looking more at about 10 to 15.
Hopefully that's something a really long, like 6 to 8 month beta cycle can really help with, is see how long does it take people to get stuff, and how disgruntled are people sounding with how long it takes, and really strike a decent balance. Like, it should take some commitment, but it shouldn't take all of the commitment.
And that's what I said to Brad too. That is one thing that does concern me from what I've heard, is the amount of time you are going to have to spend. And is that going to be something, you have to kind of check in with it daily? Is it going to be like another life that you have to maintain?
Yeah, and TL, that's something that it depends on exactly what he meant, because I don't think he ever really pinned down saying it's going to be exactly this many hours to get to max level, but he said, I believe it was something like 4 to 6 hours a day for X amount of days a week, which was like 3 or 4 or something. It wasn't like a hardcore devotion, but it wasn't a super casual either. It was somewhere in the middle. And it really depends on what they really dial it down into. But I know that, 45 hours total is, that's what it takes to get to WoW max level. Every single time I go back to the game, and no matter what expansion they're on, it always took me about 45 hours to go from level 1 to max level.
Yeah.
Granted, towards the later end, I started to have a lot of heirloom gear, which probably gave me like 30% boost or something like that in experience, whatever it is. But still.
Which is done now. Also,
I just remembered it, is also the fact of to do things, how much stuff can you do solo? How much do you have to have a group for? And I know MMORPG, right? You're social, you would think, but I don't know, communities and MMOs, they are not what they like. They're not what they used to be. So hopefully, like a dungeon, if you have to get 20 people, 40 people in there to do stuff, then how long is that going to take? Because I don't think they said there's any queuing system, right? It's just like, who wants to go, like old school World of Warcraft.
And you're going to have market boards that you can post up on, and other people can go to a different market board in the same town or whatever and say, hey, someone's looking to party up, let me go ahead and meet up with them.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of balancing, and I feel like the game's going to come out the way that they want it to be, and then there's definitely going to be changes over time. When it starts hitting the pocketbook is when they'll change it. Definitely, we know that for sure.
Yeah.
That's just business.
Yeah, at least to a point. I don't see him totally reversing some things and changing it up, but I could totally see him getting to the point where, man, the game's not sustainable because it's literally losing money, and it can only stay up for this amount of time. But if we change this or that, maybe we can get enough to just stay afloat. Not looking to get rich. I mean, if he can float the money to create a game, I'm sure he's doing pretty all right.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to get rich off of it, but as long as he can pay the bills, pay the people to get stuff done, and not lose money, there's only so many changes he'd probably need to make.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it all goes.
Yeah, I just wanted to actually catch up on chat a little bit. Wizzy McNasty says, rewatching this PvP, I'm a fan of the level of mobility and the skills as they're running around and fighting. By the way, I swapped over to the 4K video in case you guys noticed the difference in the video. I got tired of the Twitch ads, so but yeah, so like I thought that was a really good point, because like that's one thing that is really important with like even World of Warcraft as a cleric or a healer type, like a holy priest or whatever. Like there wasn't really too much mobility. You have to like stop, try to get that heal off real quick and then keep going, or stop, try to attack real quick and then keep going. So it's nice to see a level of mobility with it. And I know for more of the actiony characters like tanks and stuff, it's gonna be more important. That's
why I loved druid healing, by the way, just saying.
Yeah.
Walk around and with your hands up in the air, healing everybody.
Lore says, I must be in the minority. I actually liked the big rising in the air wind up because it gives a visual indicator as to what the mage is doing. I agree that I like that, but I feel like some of us were clicker dad. Some of us were feeling like that's more of a higher level. Like if I get to max level of the base game, that's when I'm expecting to see that, not at like level 10 or level 5 or anything like that, because it's a little excessive in my opinion for a low level to have such a big like maneuvering skill. But I mean, even then, the whole conversation about having like 20 people doing that on your screen, I mean, even Steven said at one point you couldn't really see anything during sieges and stuff like that.
Well, that, and it's nice to have a decent visual stimulus on how intense the skill is that they're casting. And if it's just like I'm throwing a fireball, which is my spam attack when I'm not doing just the regular basic attack.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed dialing it back a little bit. Maybe not terribly kill it, but dialing it back a little bit would help everything else stand out more.
Yeah. And Theater says 45 hours total, but I kind of like that it might take a year to max, because the other thing is this is just going to be a base game for a little bit. I don't think they're going to be ready for maybe a patch 3 months in or anything like that. So taking some time to get to max level is not bad for a base game that's brand new. Would it be nice to see things like every 3 months? Well, I guess not even 3 months, because time works differently in game, but during the different seasons, having the different kind of quests happening, that adds a little bit of a versatility or diversity in game. Makes it a little bit more, I guess, situational, because again, we have the specific class quests and racial quests in the towns when you have a predominant race and it builds up in that predominant race architecture theme and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. I think from what I'm seeing on screen already, I think the mechanics are looking better than the last time I saw play testing happening. So each time you're just seeing it get better and better. And I think it's going to be very exciting to see what Alpha 1 is going to be like when we can release the NDA and unveil the curtain a little bit and live stream some of this. Winter is coming, better harvest my freehold fast, right? But I don't know. And then there was just something I wanted to add earlier to the hand-holding thing that I kind of came up with the area versus specifics. It would be kind of cool just to touch on a previous conversation we had before, the toggleable UI, where you could toggle on and off, like, or even in the beginning when they're doing the tutorial, like, how would you like to play this game? Would you like generalized direction, like area-wide circles, or would you like something a little bit more specific where we can kind of more direct you towards things? And it kind of lets you choose your own level of hand-holdiness for your different play style. I think that would be kind of nifty. Sorry, I said a lot.
I dig it.
Well, you had to get your part in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the jump attack is best attack. Okay, spacebar is the most used skill on my keyboard.
Yeah. Right. Also, just a thing that reminded me, I put this in the chat earlier, but if for those of you that didn't hit the live stream, Ash's Post, one of the other content creators for Ash's Creation, they always do live stream transcripts, so feel free to check that out for like the quick rundown of what happened. There's some really good questions asked this time around, I think.
I have a quick question. I know we're kind of probably running up on time here, but I thought it was kind of important. So as far as what I know, what we've read, like the attacks for mage, those don't change with whatever weapon that you change to, like Guild Wars 2, for example. So those attacks are your attacks for mage. They will be enhanced and changed a little bit per your second archetype that you pick, your second job. Do you find that that's actually, I'm going to be that critic. Do you find that boring? That is literally all your attacks from 1 to 50?
Did they say that you weren't going to get any more? I don't recall if him saying that those are the only skills so much as those are the only ones that are
according
through 10.
According that, I mean, from, like I said, like we only know up to 10, right? But from what they were saying was these skills are pretty much, because they're balancing just the archetypes and then everything else kind of just goes off of that one, that I think your skills, so like your fireball will maybe become, with skill points, will become an empowered fireball as you level up, but it would always still be a fireball. So like I said, okay, if we're 2 to 3 years out, I mean, 20 to 50, we don't know.
So I guess my view on that is, I mean, it would take me a little bit to go through everything. So if anybody else wants to comment first, feel free, because I might be a minute. But yeah, I know. Let's see. So my view on that is, I know they said that the weapons are going to come with skills themselves as well. So if the weapons are going to have skills attached to them, then that's going to add a little flavor based on whatever weapons you choose. Certain weapons are going to be better for certain classes. So there's obviously going to be a very small window of variance there, just because people are going to want to use the one that's most effective unless they really want to roleplay their character with that one weapon.
Right.
Which is totally cool.
Which is fun.
But then you're going to have 8 other archetype modifiers, which are going to vary the type of skill that you have. So you can vary it to the degree that you want it to be varied, but in reality, outside of WoW, where you need access to like 700 skills at any given time, and you only actually use 7 of them in any battle, and the other 815 are all backups just in case you need them.
Yeah.
And you go to a raid and you really only use 8 of them unless you're a friggin' Ret Pally, in which case you need the entire bar and you just scroll your wheel to do every single key in the alphabet in order from A to Z, and that's like all you do.
It's like a summoner in Final Fantasy too. It's like playing a piano.
Yeah, like unless you're in those very specific situations, you're only really using a handful of skills.
Yeah.
And that's because they're the most effective or they're the most effective for that situation you're in.
Yeah.
And to this date, one of my favorite combat and skill setups has been in, I'm going to say the name and it's going to make me cry again, Wildstar.
Oh, no.
Right.
But they
Never
had
gonna play that one.
they had three distinct skill trees, and you had to choose how you wanted to build that skill tree out. And it really took thought and practice on how you wanted to do it. And not everybody had the same exact setup, because you could do a minor change and it'll drop your damage output by a little bit. Oh my God. But you add 10 times the amount of utility. So that's what you need to pull. And you just have to deal with the fact that you're going to drop down some damage output. But that's fine, because you are the stun person. You're going to be the stunner every time. And if you miss your stun, the raid wipes. So that's a vitally important thing. And you only had 8 skills you could choose to bring with you at a time. You had to pick what tools you wanted to bring. So I got used to that mindset and I loved it, because before I'd go out to battle or whatever, I would have to pick out exactly what I need to bring. I need to bring this weapon set, I need to bring this armor set, and I need to bring these skills. And that's what I need. That's my job today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say with
DPS counter stuff. Like your DPS isn't up there. It's like, well, that's not really what I'm here to do.
Right.
You know, I'm interrupting everything. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I can't remember how many times raid leaders were frustrated because things weren't getting interrupted, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
but I can't do that and DPS at the same time. And they don't seem to understand that. It's like, well, what do you want? Pick or choose.
Yeah. I mean, and in the ideal world, that's where you would, you know, have a few people that can interrupt and trade it off, you know, so one person being the interrupter. But the reality of it is, hey, one person's really fast, they're really quick on the draw, they're going to interrupt when they need to interrupt instead of wasting those interrupts and make it easier on everybody else. So it just, it's
because, you know, everybody has the same interrupt. If you've got 3 of the same class in there, then you're all hitting it at once and then they're all on cooldown.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, also in a situation like with Wildstar, you had to have one person be the interrupter because their interrupt was timed perfectly, and if you get somebody else to do it, then suddenly 2 people are losing damage output.
Yeah.
So it was a very strategic move, because they timed out the skills to be that way on purpose so that you could make choices, and then suddenly the raid depends on that one person to do their job right.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you look at Guild Wars 2, technically you only have 5 spells technically, and when you change your weapon, then it flips them to a different, where you change your, I think as a summoner, if you change to frost, it'll go to frost spells and fire and so on and so forth.
Or the underwater weapons too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think if they do it, but if you upgrade, which they do, and that's another thing too, like going through the wiki and going through the different classes and their spells, you have rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. And some things are just a smash, and then it becomes a smash and a daze, and then it's a smash, daze, and something else. So right now, it's almost like they're simplifying their archetypes. Just because they have, in the end, they're going to have 64, you know, they're balancing the 8, but they will be going to 64. So I think, for me, I want to do a summoner and I think a mage. And so it'll be I think a Beastmaster or something like that. Because I'm going to do, because they said you could have bears, and I think you could have up to 3 summons. So I'm going to have 3 bears, then I'm going to have a bear mount that attacks, and then I'm going to have a bear pet that attacks. So I'm going to have a bunch of bears.
Are you going to have a bullet board strapped to your backpack?
Yes. I'm going to literally be like Grizzly Adams. I'm just be like,
Nice.
And then I'm
That's
gonna,
what I called him, Grizzly Adams.
Oh, see, I was going
bears.
I was going the Goldilocks route with the 3 bears and a bowl of porridge on the backpack and
some honey, for Winnie the
there you
Pooh.
go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're taming and then they're husbandry. I think that's something that's going to be like breeding, because what's cool is I think it was mage, because it was the way they had described it, and I wish they would show this stuff, right? And that's why I feel like this game is kind of way far out there, because they haven't showed anything but tank, mage, and cleric.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, but you have summoner. I want to see it because I hope you actually summon these dragons, bears, lizards, and physically see them and they're walking with you. Because I think that aspect of it's cool. You're like, I'm surrounded by my posse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know when you're a mage, they said it'd be like the claws on the bears would be like fire, so they would be swiping with fire damage. So it's, I just think, it's that stuff that really kind of brings it out. And then going to your guys' like attacking stuff, for bosses, if you look at it, yet again, bringing up BDO, because I feel like this game's taking a lot of BDO. When a boss spawns in BDO, it's just, there's 50 people fighting it and it's just doing its thing and attacking, and then you kill it, because that's what the dragon looked like, right? Everyone was just kind of going at it willy-nilly. There wasn't no like 1 2 3 tail swipe, 1 2 3 swipe, 1 2 3 move over here. Unless they incorporate that, it just kind of feels like there's the monster, kill it.
Yeah. Horrendous can't bear it, by the way.
Bear it.
So, yeah, I know Misty said she's going to go mage. Like I said,
yeah.
I want to play all of them. And the thing is, too, is each race changes the look of like the class and the armor, and like that changes. So to me, they need to be a lot more lenient for alts, because when you have your race changes, like the look of stuff, your class changes the look of things, your religion changes the look of things, you're going to want to try it all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's part of where I'm thinking that there's going to be enough variance out there, because you're going to go up to, I think they said like you're going to go almost halfway up to max level before you can pick a secondary.
Yeah.
25.
Secondary archetype.
Yeah.
So you're going to end up going, and for half of your, in time, it's going to be the shorter half, but the half of your time is going to be spent like leveling up to 25 or what have you, whatever they decide on of it, like as a solid number, doing these certain skills. And even if they never got different skills to use, they would then alter drastically with whatever secondary archetype you choose.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like that one, you got a whole second choice to make, like change out and get a different second archetype, and that changes it drastically again.
So Missy, you were wanting to do what class?
Oh, definitely mage. I bought the October because Brad said he saw it first, and he's like, well, look at my background. He's like, uh-oh. I'm like, what? He goes, uh-oh. Because he knew. And I'm like, what? He goes, they have come up with your perfect package. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no, why?
Oh no. This is like, I don't want to spend like 500 Canadian is what it cost me in Canadian.
Yeah.
350 American. I was like, I want to spend the $500, but I'm like, but I have to.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Absolutely everything. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
It's just everything. Everything's 100% of what I want. So I'm definitely a mage.
Nice.
Whether I'm going to be a mage, what is it? Mage? Warlock? No. Mage.
Well, you'd become a warlock. It was because a mage is an archmage, and then a mage summoner is a warlock.
Yeah. So I was thinking, that's probably I'll end up a warlock.
Nice.
The mage though, the archmage, maybe. That's the thing though. See, I want to switch them out and see what works the best.
And that's honestly one of the reasons why I'm excited for alphas, because then you can just try all the things, and betas, like, let's try this, let's try that combination before it actually comes out.
So excited. I got my alpha 2. I'm like, come on.
Right. I can't wait for them to announce that stuff. I'm anticipating it. I know we haven't even gotten to alpha 1, but I'm anticipating the new dates already. I'm sorry.
I know.
Speaking of creating new characters, though, there was a post that I actually read over Vertex shoulder about starting areas and node development.
Yeah, so there's actually a couple different posts on the Reddit.
This one's by Aween PvP.
Yeah, that's a good way of pronouncing it. I'm going to take a guess that that's exactly what it is.
I don't know.
Aween PvP. But let me see exactly which one that was, because I get confused between which one was which. So that one was that.
But
Okay.
there's so many. Air.
Thank you,
Thank
Aaron. So
you.
much appreciation.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Z. I'm glad I
And
can
yeah,
be someone's
Aegon.
spirit animal.
I love it. By the way, just
And
before we
Aegon.
continue, real quick, we're probably going to go ahead and extend this a little bit longer than our usual, just because we have so much to cover and two amazing guests to converse with. So,
Yeah, we're having a
I
blast
talk
with
too
this.
much.
That's part of your charm, though.
It's all right. I can tend to type a lot. So, I mean, if you ever catch me in a forum or something, you're going to see paragraphs where other people are like, yeah, but that sucks. And here I come with like 2 paragraphs of explaining why it doesn't.
That's me
yeah,
and
but
Brad.
you know.
in
master
text.
student too. Yeah.
Yeah. Brad sends me long. He's like, sorry for the novel. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Speech to text is an amazing feature.
Agreed.
And dangerous for you.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Aegon, definitely that's the one thing that is different when you go to watch shows about that stuff is they put so much time and effort that most normal people just don't into the production value of the show.
By the way, we're talking about D&D here, talking about catching up on D&D streams. For those of you that may have missed it earlier in the chat.
Talking about Critical Role specifically, Aegon says it's a good show, but it sets a very high expectations for a D&D table. It's a good show production versus an average D&D game, which is, you know, a bunch of us with the soda and the nibbles and just chilling in a random living room, hanging out.
Random dungeon.
Yeah, random dungeon. We're just
But
chilling.
I'm super excited. I'm sorry. I really love meeting new people that are excited about the game, and I love hearing everybody's like idea for what characters they want to make. And I'm just, oh man, 64 class combinations. I know it's a lot, but you know what? It's got me excited.
I can't wait.
Story.
Yeah.
Now that everyone's had that hype up there, I'm gonna be that critical guy that hops in here. Okay.
Pretty sicko.
Killjoy. Can you mute him?
So, can you mute me?
Just like mute him. He won't know. He's not watching. He'll have no idea.
Don't do it. Mute him.
We seem to be having connection issues.
Yeah, don't
Just
say anything. He'll just keep talking, but nobody will hear him. It'll be okay.
We'll just type in chat. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, my critical, and it's because I want this to work. Everyone does. Like I said, I told the problem is when Steven, if he laid an egg, people are just golden egg, you know, like because but it was just an egg, you know. He just, you know. So it's you know, I'm not trying to be that like Buzz Killington, you know, but literally Alpha 1's probably going to take us the rest of this year. Alpha 2, if everything goes well with what they see there, I'm thinking probably middle of next year to the ending of the year. And then so now we're in 2023. And you know, I think this game comes out in 2024. So it's 2021, that's 3 years from now. Can we keep up the hype? Can they keep up the hype? People want to play something, you know, that's just kind of the thing, right? And that's why he said it's a double-edged sword of open development. You're showing it, you know, when like Missy's like, man, you know, I mean, well, I won't go that far. She knows what I'm talking about, but this game started probably development a couple of years ago, to be honest. It's fundraising 17, rule development probably a couple of years ago. So by the time it comes out, you know, is Unreal Engine like 6 going to be out? You know, like where are we at with technology at that point? Is this game already outdated by the time it comes out? You know, and the node system, all that stuff, yes, that increases all that stuff. But now that this is out there, you know, those other developers are like, you know, and they have the money to go, well, we'll get this out in 3 years. You know, like the money. And the thing is WoW's probably going to still be around because they just print off money. So they have to look at that. Final Fantasy is already saying they're going to be continuing. So, like, and supposedly if New World somehow comes up with stuff, and then I think supposedly there's a couple other, League of Legends developers. Who are they? I can't remember their name.
Right.
Riot's coming out with a new MMO. Blizzard might come out with a new IP. So it's just like, we want it. We see this. We're like, give it to us. But all we're seeing right now is Alpha 1 Island. So do they have the real game behind closed curtains that we're not seeing? And the reason why I say that is Bacon, I think it was his name, from their last podcast. He was breaking it down. And I don't know if they really meant to talk that much about it, but he said it. And it was saying, to be honest, what you see right here, the biome, we have about like 9 more biomes to make. And it's like, so you've only made Alpha 1 Island. There's nothing else past this. So it's like, where is this game really? I think it's below 10%.
Well, for that though, you got to also take in mind, I think with this video that was just there, I think he said there were like 13 biomes or something, didn't he?
Yeah. So I mean,
so if there's 13 and they have to make 8 more, if they have 8 more to make, then that means they're most of the way through, by the definition of most, I guess, greater than half at least of the way through creating biomes.
They said 18. Yeah, and I think they said they only had 1 done, like 1 officially done, so they have the rest to go. So, yeah, I mean, and we've only seen armor and characters up to level 10. We still got 40 more levels to go. So like I said, can we keep this? And that's why I told Missy, with our content for Ashes, we've already switched it to bi-weekly. I was like, but now we need to probably cut that in half and still keep going with it, doing more of these shows, just because keeping that flame alive is going to take,
And then hopefully by the time we run through it, then they're going to have more stuff to give us at that point. And even if we go over things again, we will have better video to show or something to go with it. So it's kind of like going to be a rinse and repeat, but we're going to have a lot more information and a lot more videos to show people that are looking better. So I think you can go over things, you can repeat yourself as long as you have something new to add to it.
I feel like I popped the balloon in the room. So I didn't want to bring it down, but I just was saying 3 years, like it's going to take this community to keep it going. It's just the casuals, the people that are like looking at our videos going like, what is Ashes? And I have a lot of, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but I have a counterpoint to that, though. I was kind of waiting until you'd said your piece. But I have a counterpoint to that, which is even if it does launch in, say, mid-2023, let's just say, right? That's about what you were kind of saying, right?
Maybe 2024.
Actually, 2024, I think, to be quite honest.
Okay,
it'll
so
be
let's
like
push it out that far. The end of 2024?
No, I think open will go. I think open beta, because they have to do open beta. Isn't there 2 open betas?
Yeah,
I think there was. Yeah.
Well,
so
not open betas, but 2 betas. 2 betas. Yeah.
Yeah. So alpha, 2 betas. Yeah. Just to conclude on that one point, like my friends Chris and Eric, our editor and web designer, they're excited about it. It looks really cool, but they're like, it's so far out. I can't invest in this, and that's just kind of like, we love this game. We love what we're seeing so far, which is, I think, very little. But we don't know what's going behind the scenes. We don't know where, financially what's going on. And that's kind of, their team's not completely, like, what did he say? There are 35 more spots they need to hire for today?
Yeah, they just put out like 35 more, but they've hired a ridiculous amount of people to this point.
Yeah.
So I think kind of furthers the direction I was going to go with things, though, too, is that even if it's another 2, let's just say 3 years. I mean, it's gone from, the hype has stayed there from 2017 to 2021, 4 years, and a lot of that was not much progress because they were doing all the big systems in the background and they were creating tools that would help them auto-generate things in the future. Like all the node development and town stuff like that, they were building tools that would reduce time down the road, rebuilding the backend and stuff like that. They've kind of done a lot of the grunt work of a lot of things. And I think that, it's still a little bit away from release, and I'd probably toss a coin in the 2023 bucket too. But I just think that if the minimal news and minimal tangible progress that we can see has kept the hype alive this long, and actually, if anything, grown the hype, then I think even 2 more years, even 3 more years worth of visual actual progress with, hey, now we can show you things, and here's what this is actually doing now, and this is what we're actually doing now, instead of just laying the groundwork. Like, the foundation for the house is done, the boring part's done. I mean, I'm saying done, but we don't really know everything that is done. But in theory, the boring part is done, the foundation's laid, now they're putting up the skeleton of the house, and you're going to see it start to really take shape. Is my point of view. Like, we're not ready to start celebrating and partying because, woo, it's almost there. But I think as far as hype in the community and in general in the MMO sphere, I think it's going to stay alive. It may not get to massive proportions and, oh my gosh, everybody's talking about this game and this game alone, but I think it's going to stay alive at least.
Oh, well, go ahead.
The other thing I wanted to add in is Vertec and I have been doing our podcast in our previous parents podcast, if you will, Party of 5, since 3 years now between the two.
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
I mean, we've definitely ran into times when there was literally nothing to talk about, and I mean, the only reason why we have as much as we do now is because we got really good at scraping the forums and the Reddit for things that the community is talking about, not only within Discord, but off of Discord and off of the forums as well, and other people's podcast, and doing our best. I think with me officially getting this internship now and having the evenings free, but by the way, yes, I did officially sign the contract, so I am officially on to the next part of my internship. So that means, I know, I'm so excited. That means my evenings are going to be a lot more free so that I can actually hang out and do more of the, doing more of the checking out people's podcasts, checking out the live streams, checking out videos that I missed throughout the day because, 9 to 5, right? So, but I mean, Vertec and I can completely relate to the lack of content and not really knowing what to talk about sometimes. And honestly, I mean, we are super grateful that you guys are here watching us. We love you guys too. Thank you. But
you're our favorites.
Seriously, I will say there has definitely been a moment where I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea to continue myself being on the podcast. And Vertec was like, I can continue holding the flame, I'll just keep going with it. But it was just, I think that was more so coming from a place of stress on my end of just feeling like overexerted, too many things on my plate because I was trying to keep up with too much too. I love our podcast, and I think Vertec and I, yes, we agree actually. But I really think that it's really fun to be here with you guys, and I actually really look forward to the podcast. Sometimes I'm dreading it because I'm exhausted, but as soon as we get on, I'm just enjoying myself all over again. And yeah, the amazing cool things that were being shown before, like the different nodes and like the scientific node and the religious node that was supposed to come out next and stuff like that. That was amazing to hear. And we made a comment on this last week. Like, I would love to hear what happened to the rest of that. But the reality is, there's network issues that need to be fixed. There's server issues that need to be fixed. And that is very fundamental to the gaming. And if we're able to keep a skeptical yet positive view on the game, I think, especially with the release of new information, as somebody even said, with the new people discovering ashes, it's easy to continue the hype because now there's new people that are hyped, and there's some of us that have been since like 2017, I don't know if I'm as hyped as you are now, but I was definitely there at one point. And for me, it exerts my excitement for it. I'm like, oh yes, people are excited for this. I'm excited again.
Well, this is very new for people, right? Like some people have just discovered this a week ago, and now they're like, what?
Yeah.
And there's also some other troopers like Chibi and I, we did this weekly for a while, and then we're like, well, there's not a whole lot happening right now, so let's dial it back down to like monthly. We don't want to quit altogether, but let's do it once a month.
Yeah,
We did
or at
that
least tried
for
it
a
for
good
2 times a month. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we went to like 2 times a month, and then we finally scaled it back up to once a week. But during that time, there were some people that just kept up weekly, but they were just crushing it. They're so much better at engaging it, and I'll say that completely humbly. We're not the greatest at engagement on social media. We really aren't.
Yeah.
We need to get better. We need practice.
We're
But there's
working on
people like Jalon with Paradox and
It's a lot to keep
dear
up
Lord,
with, though.
Simorg is just
big animal.
bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simorg
And that's
is
coming
insane.
from 2 of us that are not very social online, you know. So,
And,
yeah.
like, Tavernside Gaming came out of nowhere, and those people, I think if anything else, like, I think the community of Ash's content creators will keep the talk going for plenty of time.
Yeah.
And there'll be no worries about like talk dying down.
And
No.
even still, I don't know. He stopped in earlier. But
Yeah, he was here a little bit ago.
yeah. But I mean, even still, like there's you guys, there's Horrendous. There's still people that are coming out with new content and new viewpoints on that content, you know, and it's just something that I love. And I mean, even with Lazy Peon's newest video that Unless was talking about earlier. I almost called you Illusion. I'm sorry. But that video that he just released talking about, you know, like Ashes is really doing something unique compared to other people. And, you know, if Ashes doesn't make it, he's obviously feeling like MMO is just done for him specifically. But that alone is going to bring even more new people, because now people are probably like, well, I'm over World of Warcraft again. I gave it another shot and I'm still just tired of it, you know, and now they're going to see him because he's known of his MMO content and be like, oh man, I didn't stumble upon this before. Or I did, but it wasn't even close to being out, you know. So it just, the number of people that just keep coming in. I mean, I saw 2.7 thousand viewers today, I think, on Ash's live stream.
Yeah, I saw it up at like 4,800 or so.
Yeah, so something crazy like that. Like, it was just that many people are looking at it, you know. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words over here. But if that many people are still looking at it, then I think there's still hope. And I mean, I think at this point it's kind of up to the community to keep that like flame going and keep the talk and doing the best that we can to muddle through with the little information that we got. Yes, there was a lot more planned in terms of content to release out for all of us to talk about, but I mean, I also understand the reality of wanting to be transparent but being burnt by being too transparent, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So do you think, because I was watching chat and everything that talked about the monthly thing, keeping it up, do you think that they need to kind of maybe, I don't know, pull back from doing monthly? Or if they did do something monthly, that it would be kind of like, it's almost like when you have a game like Call of Duty, every year, new Call of Duty, new Call of Duty, new Call of Duty, and there's nothing really changing. Madden's even worse, right? That'd be a better example. Do you think that, you know, because I'm like the critic, right? So the videos come out and they're showing like new bushes, new huts, new, you know, mounts, whatever. It like today, I think the biggest thing was like the fireball, the fireball change, which was good to see. But do you think that they should maybe kind of like save up stuff until they actually have like 10 new things that are like cool to show? Like you said, like a new node, you know, like do you feel like, you know, they should save up a little bit and then give us everything kind of at once instead of crumbs?
I say no. And the reason why I say no is because as a, the backer level that I am, and the silence that has come from situations, it definitely is less exciting when there's nothing to hear about. And I feel like these monthly live streams not only give us something to look forward to, but also any sort of silence at this point could be detrimental in terms of people's interest in participating in Alpha 2 and stuff like that, in my opinion. Especially with, like, he wanted to sell Alpha 1 sales again, but for reasons he decided that was not a good idea. But they're still selling Alpha 2 things, so there's definitely still room for people to come in. No.
Yeah, and
I like the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are the trail through the forest that leads you home.
Yes.
If you don't have the breadcrumbs, then you don't find your way home. So you want to follow. It's like a continuity thing, right? You want to follow. Because Dead Space, they go, what happened? And then people lose interest and they go, oh, squirrel. And they find something else to be interested in.
Yeah, well, even beyond that, because we tend to focus more on conversations happening in the community rather than the news, trying to present news to the community. We tend to do more like talking about what's going on and the conversations people have on the Reddit and such. And reading through that stuff, I can say that in the dark times when there was no communication from the great Intrepid Studios, people were a lot more down on just the occurrences in the game, the occurrences with this and that. And even though they were doing big things, it was back end things, and they didn't have much to present to people, and so there was no news, and people were getting far more disgruntled over that than, hey, there wasn't a whole lot new and nifty this development stream. It was just a bunch of art. But with that, it was just people just didn't have as big a smile. But when there was nothing coming out for a month or 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, people got really upset about that.
Yeah.
Brad.
They were starting to get really hurt.
Well, it wasn't being upset. It's just like I told you, Missy. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I feel like we need more. If they have more to show, I feel like, and I know like they're probably making a lot of set pieces, right? They showed the bull today from the December thing, which was pretty cool. Like there's a lot of, I think like the otter mount, the turtle mount. So, I mean, they are coming out with that stuff. And I said, as the team gets bigger, the more this stuff gets popped out quicker and whatnot. I think like, yes, the monthly stuff, the breadcrumbs do need to, that was just the devil's advocate thing, needs to continue to happen. But I think it'd be cool as if they kind of had like an Ashes con, maybe like once a year, where they saved up some big ticket items, and it would be like month, and then maybe there was like a month break, and then they had Ashes con, whatever they want to call it. And then they kind of have like a big kind of little thing that kind of shows us, maybe like an actual siege happening, or something, with actually some big ticket items being showed that they have never showed, instead of just monthly stuff. I don't know.
The Ashes of Creation quarterly Twitch siege. I love it. I love it.
I want to be a part of it.
Well, because like that would be something cool to show, like a bard, summoner, like introducing a new class, giving us a breakdown, kind of like they don't have to be on a stage, but just a breakdown of the attacks, the different armor sets, the racials, just kind of like a bigger thing where they could show a lot more, and kind of more of an event instead of just like a monthly thing. But like I said, in time, I think.
Chibi and I could cosplay it because, hey, you know what? I'm too old for a bikini, but from what I'm seeing, I could be fully covered, so I'm down with that.
And you know what? Honestly, Horrendous even had a good point there. Like just a video showing some freehold cosmetics and which buildings they actually represent, which buildings they replace, and maybe not exactly how they work, but just give us a walkthrough. Like, hey, check this out. This is how it would sit on the freehold. Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so their older videos, there's actually a lot more content in their older videos than their newer videos. So it's like, where did those go? Where are they at? Are they just being worked on? Something like they showed, I think, the rogue class and the movement of the cape, and just like how it was walking through and climbing up things, like
the invisibility or cloaking.
Yeah, like it just would be nice, like if they had to hold back on some things to give us some really good things. I think that would be, hearing from them, good, yes, every month. But I think it'd be cool if we saw some like bigger things, if they held it back for a little bit. But
And I also kind of feel like that's where the creative director's letter comes in.
yeah,
That's quarterly. But then there's also been some times where they're like, here's the creative director's letter. And we're like, meh. I already know all that.
Like,
now a quick question, because I don't think we're going to get in, but the actual official content creators Alpha 1 phase. I hit them up not this one, but the last one about when they bringing out info on that, and still they said no news yet. Do you feel, I've heard some other people, we'll mention names, some other content creators out there saying that they need to make sure that their standards for followers and subscriptions and viewers and all that stuff needs to be higher to be able to get in. To me, I feel like with this type of game and the way that they're already kind of doing it, do you guys feel like they need to actually have like a more of a, I mean, you can't be like, oh yeah, I started doing Ashes yesterday and get in. But if you've been doing it for like a year, you know, or more, like, I guess what's your guys' thoughts on that? Like having people in there, content creators with no NDA.
Yeah. I think honestly their content creator program, if I had to throw some stuff out there, would end up being, it would almost have to start out with a lower bar than they want to have when the game launches.
Yeah.
Just because the audiences for it are smaller right now than it will be when it actually goes to launch. Because there aren't as like all the game websites that are saying, hey, there's this game in development. They would say, hey, there's this game about to launch, and people would get much more interested in that.
Yeah.
So right now, with the audiences being smaller, there need to be a smaller requirement, but also kind of flexible, I guess, in terms of, hey, like a job application. Like, here's what we would like in our ideal candidate. Well, yeah, okay, so you don't have X amount of followers, but you've been doing this for years and you have a dedicated following and you just keep pushing content. Cool. Or vice versa. Like, you're brand new and you've grown like a rocket ship, like super fast. You've only been at it for 6 months and you already have 79,000 followers from this one account alone. Like, that's insane. But, you know, you're brand new and fresh.
Well, you're almost also kind of picking winners and losers, though, if you only let the higher people in, because I mean, they're going to have access to the game if they don't already have it, but they have the no NDA, so they could actually show stuff, make content actually showing in-game, you know. And I think, you know, I'm not saying like we've even hit the numbers. We're probably like a year out from even hitting anything, but I think numbers, but I think also quality-wise, I think it'd be cool to see if, you know, see what their standards are. But I feel like
I think that it should matter on the type of content that you're creating. Vertec and I, like we said, we've been doing this for a couple of years. We don't exactly have like amazing numbers, but we have definitely a good amount of numbers compared to when we first started. Like when we first started, there was like 5 or 10 people. Now I'm seeing 24 from like Streamlabs OBS. Like, we are also not super amazingly social people like Simmerg and, you know, some of the other content creators that have their stuff all out there, you know. Not to mention, it would probably be easier as soon as we got caught up on all of our back videos that we have, you know, and getting back on that YouTube grind, if you will, where people can actually search our videos instead of like, it's been dead for almost a year because, well, we moved and we swapped different video editing software, and so there's a learning curve on that. And hey, guess what? This actually doesn't work in the new software, so I have to make it from scratch, and just all these things that are happening. And not to mention, I'm sorry, love, I'm gonna put you out there a little bit. Vertec is an audiophile. I'm a graphics whore. He's an audio whore, for lack of a better word. He wants to make sure the audio is really good. He likes to DJ. It's part of the DJ Vertec thing. So he is really focused on making sure that our podcast is like really polished when it goes out, because that's his favorite thing, especially with the audio. And I'm not exactly the most technical oriented in terms of streaming, so I'm sure like I cause a lot of problems that he has to fix later in terms of like maybe there's echoes or maybe somebody's louder than other people, and part of helping us with that was swapping over to Zoom, where we have individual voice audios. So that way, if Missy's quieter than the rest of us, we can bring her up. If I'm extra loud because I went from talking this way to like sideways and then back, and like he has to fix that, but like bring me down a little bit kind of thing. So I think based on the number of viewers that you have and the type of content that you put out, the quality of content you put out, and how consistent you are with it, that there should be a variation for each person. Like, obviously, I would not expect to get like 20 keys, but from a person like Paradox Gaming or, you know, Simeric, who has tons of followers, 20 keys might be like 10% of their viewership. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing numbers out there at this point. Versus like 10% of our viewership's closer to like 2, you know, so having a more scalable for each person, but also making sure that the content they're putting out there is, you know, good. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, Vertec and I are hoping maybe we can become content creators at some point. We're not exactly expecting compensation. Would having compensation be nice? Sure, but I mean, the compensation that we're getting from you guys is going towards, you know, making sure our stream's better, and hopefully one day getting our website up and running, now that I'm having more time and can actually dedicate more time towards allocating resources and finding people helping us with that stuff. Like, I think, I mean, we are true fans, and even if we do become official content creators, I'm still going to be a true fan, you know. I joined it because of how beautiful it looks and the uniqueness of it. Am I excited about World PvP? No. I am a PvP person through and through, but I also
just don't gank me when I'm gathering.
Yeah, exactly. I completely suck at PvP, so am I gonna cry if you gank me? Yes, I will, because that hurt my feels a little bit, but I'm also not gonna fight back, so now you have corruption.
Okay, because I was just...
But yeah.
But yeah, as long as they're fairly flexible with some stuff, just because of where it is right now. But I mean,
also,
if I'm gonna be honest,
Tavern Side's in the chat.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello, Tavern.
Yeah, I know we.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry, Horrendous, I couldn't do my sirens call, but you know, being this is Twitch and everything, if I actually sing, they'll mute us. So
oh me, oh my.
Oh,
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a little tip with Twitch that we've kind of been studying, the viewers lies. If you actually count your users, you have more people viewing than actually what it's showing you. YouTube,
yeah,
that's actually kind of why, that's why we've actually personally, that's one thing, we had a meeting yesterday with our editor that we're just going to start recording. Like, YouTube's our actual main content hub. Twitch is going to be where we interact with our community, playing games that we like to play. Because YouTube, you could, I mean, it breaks down you've seen it, breaks down everything for you. I think they did say, though, it's like 1,000 views for $1 on YouTube. So, but yeah, as we found out with kind of Twitch, and I almost feel like it's Twitch's way of giving the higher ups more views, because it's like until someone follows you, you'll see the viewer then. But if they don't, then it's not an actual person viewing you. I don't know, it's weird. It's something actually, now that Tavern Side's in here, it's something even he enlightened me to at one point. Apparently, if you have the video muted, it doesn't count that as a view. So oh geez, yeah.
So people who are thinking they're being nice by, hey, I'm just gonna lurk for a while, but then they mute the video, they're not actually helping you with that lurk. They gotta either mute the audio on your computer by turning the volume down, or mute the tab on the top if you have a browser that lets you do that. That type of thing. But if you hit the actual mute button on the video itself, then it doesn't count that as a view, which some of the names that we see quite often are actually little bot accounts.
Yep.
They're not actually people. They're just, they're surfing through accounts, and like that Commander Root that's in everybody's channel all the time. I don't even know what that's for, but that's definitely a bot.
Right.
Yep.
Someone lurking.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I would love to see the content that you guys pull out. I want to see what that's going to be like. And also, for those of you that are just joining, as a reminder, call back to earlier. They're looking for people to join them for their podcast, right? Podcast?
Yes,
Streams?
absolutely.
Things. Their things. Join their things.
Join our things.
Doing the things.
All the things.
So the one thing with this one, I got to make a video. Me and Missy actually have to make a video to put on the website. But the Crucible team member program, people think, oh, it's like joining a team. You have to follow our stuff. You have to hold our flag, and your flag gets covered. That's not the way. We're having 5 people right now. There's a application, and you join us. Like, for example, like if you joined us, nothing changes for you other than we fly your stuff and you fly our stuff, and our website, we host you. And it's kind of just like connects the dots in a way of being a team without having to officially have a team on Twitch or whatever. It's what we did before, like I said, way back in 2015, where we had 80 people join us. And the thing is if you have 5 people, you join that team, you get automatically 5 new subscriptions, 5 new follows, 5 new, it feeds off each other. So
Yeah.
plus that same team can actually do what we're doing now, make content together, play together, collab freely because you're in a team atmosphere. So that's what that is. And that's why we need to make a video, because it's on our website as an application. It's just, we need to make a video.
And I think it's important to note that we don't expect money from anyone. We don't.
Yeah.
It's not, I've seen other networks and they're like, oh, well, if you pay this, I'm like, no, we're free. We are completely free. No money.
Yeah.
So big, small, doesn't matter. We'll take them all. That's why I say big, small, we'll take them all.
It's a good motto.
Yep.
Good motto. And I think we justifiably have the same motto, because we've had brand new people, barely even made anything yet, and people that have established stuff, and I think it's important, and mainly from our perspective, because our perspective is community, right? So we want to know about the Ashes creation community. Like, what are the people in our community creating? What are they doing? And the community is the small person like Z in the corner making clay things, to somebody who does amazingly big things all the time on their stream and they have all the following. Like, just, we want to know about our community in general.
Yeah.
And people who don't even have a camera, exactly, Z.
Well, I didn't for a long time because we couldn't get one. It's backlogged.
People are
Thank you,
also
COVID.
shy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uptick.
Well, I was a singer, so I'm not shy. I'm used to being in front of an audience by myself. Everyone's staring at me, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, see, I'm used to being in front of people and people staring. It's the whole talking on a mic that I had to get over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'd say you did pretty well.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Making progress.
Weren't you a DJ?
Yeah, but I don't talk on a mic. I was a DJ at a dance club. I play music and make people dance. I don't
dance
hey guys,
DJ. Okay.
And not like the bros of DJs. They're like, hey, how you doing, New York? Let me hear you scream. No.
I do have to add, rip Daft Punk.
Oh no, I know. Poor guys.
Yeah. Did they ever say, actually, I know this is off topic, but did they, like, why they broke up? Is it just we're done? Like, we're over it?
I didn't actually read anything about that. No. But honestly, after a while, you just got to be like, all right, it was a good run, but we've been doing this for 30 years. It's about time to hang up the helmets.
Yeah.
Relax.
And then the money depletes, and then they're like, we're having a comeback tour.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, who was it?
Like, the Stones have been like since the 80s. This is our last tour. It's like,
is it really though? Is it really though?
Steel Wheels was supposed to be, and it's like what, 1988?
Right.
I'm aging myself.
Yeah, there's a couple artists that just they have the last tour like 7 times.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the last tour.
Right.
The really last one, I promise.
No, wait, I'm serious this time. As like the end of the tour.
The last.
Is there an echo in here?
Yeah, right.
Ah, man. But yeah, as we're talking, I wanted to show off some fan art Fridays. So this one's by Withy Wendell.
Withy Wendell, who is, by the way, trying to quote unquote stand up her art at this Night Sky Works Twitter account.
Nice.
That looks cool. I like the flaming sword.
Yeah, so it looks like her. The weapon design's actually really good. It almost reminds me of kind of like Willow, like the faces and stuff like that. Old school Willow right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Gotta go back.
I just watched Willow the other day. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's been a long time for me. I saw somebody running around at some point with the name Willow on a game, and that brought it back. It wasn't too long ago. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's same with like Dark Crystal and the Labyrinth, all those good ones.
That was.
I was so hurt
that.
Yeah, the Netflix.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, COVID did that. That's the worst thing.
COVID.
Yeah. Well, because you have to think about it, right? You have actors inside of it sweating, and they're having to actually operate the. So
True.
I don't think it's gone. I think it's just like we have to wait until the pandemic's done.
Right.
We must wait. Yeah.
Dab COVID, old lady fish shake right here.
Right.
But I mean, how they captured the original, but like they brought it modern and just like it was. I was like, and Mark Hamill was like one of the voices too, and I'm just like, I think I actually teared up a little bit. I'm just like, they did it perfectly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they did it really well. Really well.
Oh, and then this is my favorite. I can't wait to show you guys this one. So you also put this in the thing, so I'm just gonna pull it up here real quick. Okay, so Z has done it again, ladies and gentlemen, with her Minecraft reenactment. It's
Z with the blocks.
So lovely. I like it. As I say, lovely. That was actually the name of the podcast she was on. Lovely Treehouse.
The Treehouse of Love.
I wonder what that tree has. I'm like, what is that all about?
Oh, I love it. I'm such a cherry blossom fanatic. Like I saw Missy's background, I was like, golden cherry blossoms falling. I love it. Like,
cherry blossom trees. Oh, ask Brad about that.
Gosh.
All my trees.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Seriously. Oh my god.
That's so appreciated. Oh, you humble us. You humble us.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, you guys that just got subbed, you have to keep it going now.
Yeah.
I buy the first drink.
First
Next
sample's
round's
free,
on
kid.
you.
First sample's always free, kid.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, just I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Z. I can't. Just make sure don't pour any lava on this one, okay?
Yeah, no, keep away from the lava.
Did you guys see the stream marathon from November with the Minecraft building contest?
No.
Missy and Lush. So they had a contest for the streamathon, and everybody had to build, like, I guess their replication of I think a specific building in Ashes of Creation in Minecraft though. I know, I'm sorry. But like it was super late because we're East Coast, right? So it's super late. It's like almost 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm staying up because I'm trying to go through it, trying to get like a key for giving away on our stream. Because Vertec and I are in Alpha 1, so we don't need the Alpha 1 key, but they're giving it away. And we're like, if we get this, we can re-give it away. And I double-checked with like all the mods and everything. 6 a.m. for you. Like, oh man, I imagine you were like exhausted by that point. But
it was like the last 3 hours of a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, and like the emotions were heightened because they're all exhausted, right? And somebody just pours lava on the top of a building in the middle of like being judged on the contest, because once they finished, like they said that there's PvP, like PvP was fair game within the Minecraft world. So like once one group finished, they started exploring and they're like, oh look, we happened upon another group, and that happened to be the one that Toast was in, and they had just finished. It looked really elaborate, it was really pretty, and then like they were trying to like TNT it and everything, but I think somebody was like glitching out or whatever. It was.
Oh, was it clipped?
Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Oh, not that. Okay. But yeah, it was yeah, bam, fiery drama, like last second during like right before the contest, you know. And it was funny. I mean, it was amusing. It was really late, so it wasn't exactly amusing for everybody in the situation immediately, but I mean, it was just like the drama, like it's just out of nowhere. It's just unexpected drama over like Minecraft. And I was just like, Vertec, wake up. You gotta see this.
It was crazy though, because the point we knew something was up was, I think it was Z and somebody else was running around in armor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're gonna go and like fight the people. It's like 5 minutes until he gets judged. What's going on here? And like somebody else snuck around the back and just dumped lava in it while they're chasing off Z and somebody else.
Yeah.
Like you thought they were the threat, but no.
The real threat was fire. But like they were gonna give away a key right after the judging, so that's why I made sure to get Vertec up, and then we were just like sitting there watching the drama unfold on this big TV, and we are just like
it was one of those things where it was heartbreaking, but at the same time everybody else woke up. Like, you know, everybody watching woke up at that moment.
Like, what?
Oh yeah.
The adrenaline started pumping, and yeah, it was basically the highlight of the stream, at least for that last little bit.
Should I play that clip?
Oh my gosh. Do it.
I mean, she went through the effort to give it to us, so why not, right?
Yeah, at least to see what was happening. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me make sure I have this the right way.
The feels.
Okay. Was it this one? Okay.
Yeah, I think the link she has at the time as well.
Yep. I'm checking my stuff personally, like which one it is out of the numerous video shares I could give. Here we go. Do you guys want audio or do you just want it mute?
Ooh. Actually, you know what? Let me see.
Audio? Okay. Oh, wrong way.
He's panicking.
Oh, geez.
Audio.
It's not working again. Dang it. I'll put it back a little bit. Hold on. It always does this to me. Always does this to me. I am so annoyed with Windows at this point. Nope. Okay.
You can do it. I have the faith.
This cat is rude. I'm so sorry. Yes, Maggie was panicking. It was kind of cute. You can do it. Thank you. I appreciate the support. But yeah.
While she's getting that going.
Thank you.
Here's your monthly reminder that cosmetics are leaving the shop on March 3rd. If you haven't gotten those gorgeous cosmetics.
Pinky swear I'm getting the cosmetics this time. I swear. Right after this stream, I'm not going to miss this one. I'm getting it.
So many times it's been, I really want to get those. And no, too late.
Yeah.
I'm looking for... Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say that was another
window.
conversation that we bumped into, is somebody kind of betting that, yeah, you know, down the line, you know, they're going to open those up for people to buy. No, not really, unfortunately, because I've missed a couple sets I really, really wanted.
Yeah.
If they do, it'll be like 2-3 years later. Or it'll be the same set, but maybe different colors. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, the only time I could actually see him going back on that would be if it were in that situation you were talking about where, you know, the game's in dire straits and it's about to get canceled out because it's losing money or whatever. Then, all right, here's something I said I'd never do, but let's try it. Cosmetics, all of them, they're on sale if you wanted something and didn't get it.
sell all the dragon mounts, release all the dragons,
Release the dragons.
release the dragons.
I'm proud to buy all your bears.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it'd have to take something pretty severe because he's been pretty adamant about that one. And that makes me kind of sad to a point, but kind of happy because I do like having the hard to get cosmetics. Like I'll go and hunt them all down.
Oh yeah.
So, question: I've asked Missy this too. Do you like the fact that you have to have said piece to wear said cosmetic? So, like, you need to have chest A to wear. Like, because I think that's what he said, right? You can't just have the otter cosmetic unless you have the otter mount. Or like the horse, you can't use the cosmetic for unless you have that right horse. So you still have that. I have to earn it to use it.
Oh, you got the audio working?
Yes.
All right, we'll pick up this after the fact.
Sorry,
Let's
I'm
watch
so
something
hyped
burn.
whenever I fix something.
So good.
I-
Really creative.
I know just how you feel.
I'm very impressed. So we can grab. You guys! It's burning down!
Oh,
No! Get the F's in chat going.
The heartbreak in her voice.
No.
It's burning down. Oh.
even younger, but
Oh my gosh.
oh, we still have dinosaurs.
Well, they still have this side of their house.
Someone got booted off the server.
What's happening?
No.
Use your words. What's happening?
There's a tiny baby that's chasing
Oh my god.
them.
My house. My house.
They came in at the perfect
Guys,
time.
don't die in real life, okay?
Oh, that was
That was
so.
my sick my mouth.
That was
Stay
so
alive.
good.
I was
Hey.
Baron Builders Clan, you
Come on.
are looking good. This is interesting. So
Yeah, so that was like the little tidbit of it, like burning down. Oh.
Oh dear lord.
Oh, the drama.
Oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was an intense moment. And by moment, I mean, I woke up for that, and it took me a bit to get back to sleep.
Lava Gate
Yeah.
2020.
Basically,
Yeah, Lava
pretty
Gate.
much. That's what they dubbed it.
Awesome.
But yeah, pretty much I was staying up all night and he had to be up for work or something the next day. And I was like, okay, just go to sleep. I'll wake you up. It'll be fine. And yeah, oh my gosh. It was heartbreaking, but funny. And I felt bad, but it was amusing. And it was just like all the emotions at once. Again, roller coaster ride. Unfolding drama right before our eyes. It was for charity. Yeah. Charity stream.
It was bananas.
But oh gosh.
yeah, I guess to circle back real quick to answer the question before we catch up on chat again is you were saying that if you buy let's say the red horse from this cosmetic pack, you have to wait until you earn a horse before you can apply the red horse, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know how picky they're going to be, right? I don't think they've actually said how picky, because technically isn't there actual Pegasuses in the game? So you might actually have to get a Pegasus before you could actually use that skin.
From what I understand, it's basically going to be delineated of ground mount, flying mount, or gliding mount, and maybe
the
there might be
gliding,
like small, medium, large, or whatever, something like that, like the boats are. But as far as I know, it's just like the T1, T2, Tier 1, and Tier 2 is like the ground
It's a
mount,
T1
and the gliding mount.
Somebody says it's a T2 mount and somebody else says it's T1 mount.
Okay.
But if
Yeah, I
it's a
think
T2 mount, you need a T2 mount first.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fully in support of that because you need to find a gliding mount before you can apply the cosmetic gliding mount,
Yep. No,
which is
I definitely
perfectly
like-
fine.
Oh yeah, I just was thinking like the thought. It's like someone buys something like, oh yeah, I'm going to use it, and then they're like, well, it's going to take you a month to actually get this thing to use that thing, So
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe that's a video we need to make. Subscribe.
Like somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you even need to have like certain types and grades of armor before you can wear certain cosmetics. Right? Like the super awesome, glaringly heroic knight armor thing. You gotta actually get a full suit of plate armor that's of a certain tier before you can wear it, if I recall correctly.
I think we also had this conversation about like it for immersion purposes, ruining immersion. If you're starting the game and there's people in this like fantastical ball gown gear, immediately.
And
That's what I was like, when
what,
do you
though,
put a mushroom dress?
Yeah.
but for
There you go.
immersion, and this is one of my things why when everyone asks like, do you believe there's life on other planets? Well, yeah, I couldn't live under the sea, but there's life down there. It's the same kind of thing. Like people are coming back from a different planet, a different universe, a different something. We don't even know. We don't have a definition on what Sanctus was exactly. Was it just a different planet and universe? Was it a different dimension? We have gotten no committed answer on that. So if you're coming back from somewhere else to this planet and coming back to magic, everybody could have been superheroes on the other planet, but they might be reduced efficiency here. So you're going to have to struggle with your super awesome holy knight of revengery thing. Your end game on that other planet armor is now like, it's kind of all right. And now you got to go kill bears again.
It's pretty kitty.
She almost never comes out, so I had to show her. I swear we have a cat. I've seen proof.
Just proof.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I think I set up once like a kitty cam, and a dog cam.
My kitty cam would literally be pointing a camera underneath our bed and towards the back corner. You'll just see two eyes glowing at you, and that's all you'll see.
Yep.
Until it's time to go to bed, in which case she wants all the cuddles and all the noise and wants to bounce off the walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I will
She
be
slept
trying to
all
fall
day.
asleep and she's just running around. Yeah. And our roommate has a cat too. So she's decided she, for whatever reason, wants to just hiss at the roommate cat. And like literally today I saw her like, and then hiss, like lunge at the cat like, oh, I'm bigger and fiercer than you. And then hiss at the cat and then just kind of like get upset that the cat's not doing anything. Like I was trying to be threatening. Why is like it's like a me trying to be a tank, right? Like I'm not threatening, so I'd be like, "Grr," and then they'd be like, that's
Yeah,
Diva
I know it's
in
kind
a
of like
nutshell.
sideways, but that's Lady. I don't know if it'll actually show. No, it's not showing.
No,
Green screen.
it's a very interesting creature. You have there. It looks very morphy.
I know what I can do.
She can go invisible. She
Yeah,
has superpowers.
But yeah.
Now I'm in the black. No, original.
Oh,
Let's do
oh
that.
no.
There we go.
Black in black.
Oh, come on.
He's in the void.
There you go.
At
There's
least you're not in
Lady.
the red. Aw, cute.
Oh,
Yeah, she's one of the little. Yeah, rescued her practically.
Aw.
Trying to find the kitties. They're not around.
Pearl and socks.
Yeah, Pearl and Socks. Well, I guess that's the boy.
A little bit more towards the middle of the camera for
There you
you.
go.
There you go.
There you go. That's Socks.
Aw.
big old fat tomcat. And then Pearl's our little demon cat. I think she's too smart for her own good.
Aw.
we used to have a little demon cat that was not the most intelligent for her own good. That's not why we used to have her. We used to have her because
No.
we had to move, and she was frightened by everything. Moving would have traumatized her
Everything.
forever.
Like,
Yeah, talking about moving. Our cats went from Colorado to Virginia overseas.
oh man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, our kitty is traumatized when we take her to like the vet, like absolutely traumatized, hides for a week. So we had to move cross country, and it was going to take us, multiple days and whole new situation. She would have been traumatized. So we had some good friends take her instead. She's happy
She's
there.
a
so.
lot happier. She's actually come out of her shell a lot more than when she was with us. So we're just like, I think our house was just way too chaotic for that cat.
Yeah, we were too active and noisy.
Yeah. This one she's okay with it. She just hides under the bed. You'll never see her.
She's a foot warmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Aw.
But
Let's see. Catching back up with chat here. Where were we? There was something that was going to respond to earlier. I forgot.
ow. Corgis, not immersion. Here's a question, and Wandering Mist put it out on Reddit. Should raid boosting be allowed in Ashes?
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up. What do you guys think? And keep in mind, like, this post specifically is in reference to using in-game gold and asking for in-game gold. If a guild just announces, hey, we're running you, it's going to cost you 100k and we'll take you through the raid. Just sit in the back, don't be stupid, and we'll res you at the end.
Yeah. For those of you asking what raid boosting is kind of like in World of Warcraft when people would buy bigger, stronger people to run them through things so they could get the better gear because they're too weak.
AOTC.
I was going to say the AOTC mount. I may have been guilty of that once or twice.
So I think that depends upon how hard the content is to get into and how many casuals there are. If there's 90% casuals that play this game and 10%, actually, to be honest, normally it's like 99 casuals, 1% actual hardcore. So it just depends, right? If it takes you, they're like, this dungeon, it's, you know, because they said the dungeons, like, you'll go down deeper, and the deeper you go, the harder it gets. It's like Diablo practically. So if it takes you 8 hours, and I don't think, because they're not instanced, you know, if you go down 4 hours worth, you have, you know, unless you log out right there and come back to it, but I'm pretty sure you would have to go down, then come back up, repair. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of factors in it, but it depends on how hard is it to get a raid team going together. How hard is it to obtain stuff in it? Is it right? No, people should be playing the game. Will people still ask for it? Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of just, it's kind of individual choice really at that point. And I don't even know if they could technically.
So here's my question to you two. Do you think that this will be different? Because, for example, it's very common in World of Warcraft, right? Where you just queue up for a group and then you go running. Do you think it'll be different because there's no queue, no pop? It's just looking for people to run with and being like, hey, you know?
I have my concerns with this, and I've talked to Brad about it. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I don't understand it. But from what I gather, if I go in and say I'm a gatherer and I need something out of that dungeon, but I need it from the boss, I can actually join a fight. But if there's a group that's actually together and there's 10 of them, and maybe me and Brad go in there, but I need something and we can join it, it says if you join, I had to tame you a bear. It says we have to do 60% of the damage. If
you can't just. Yeah.
What does that mean? If there's 2 of us and there's 10 of them, but we all need the same boss, what does it mean that I have to do 60% of the damage in order to get any loot from that boss? I'm having trouble with that.
That means you got to jump in the same group.
But what if they won't let you?
Then you got to wait until they get bored and move on, or finish the fight and move on, and then you wait for the respawn.
Yep. This is that like no hand holding kind of like tougher, stricter thing that I think is going to have to be balanced and looked at over time. Just because that's another thing too, right? It's if like, do I have that's why a lot of things have become instanced, right? It's like I have an hour to play. I can queue up, be in there in 10 minutes. Or if you're a tank, insta queue, healer, insta queue. And you're in and out and you got your stuff done, you're good for that hour, you logged off, you're done for the day. Here, if you want to go run a dungeon, takes you, hopefully not, but 15 minutes to find a group. Then you got to ride all the way over there because there's not going to be really, I think, unless you're a part of a certain, I think, scientific node, I think it was, that you can teleport short distances. You know, then you have the travel time. So by the time you get there, you have like 20 minutes to run this dungeon that technically takes like 2 hours to get to where you want to go. So
Well, there's also the other aspect of this ties into both that question of the raid boosting as well as running open world dungeons and such, and that is using your strength to help somebody else's weakness and vice versa. Having somebody else's strength carry your weakness. So let's say that you are an absolute wizard. I have an old buddy from like way back in SOTOR days before that even launched out. His thing is econ PvP, economy player versus player. That's what he is. He's all about the collecting, the crafting, the dismantling, anything he can do to make money. And his motto is, I'm gonna fund your raiding until you can carry me through, and then you're gonna carry me through for free because I funded your raiding. Or I'm just gonna keep giving you guys potions for free, and I'll just make a bunch of money, and then when you can carry somebody, I will pay you to carry me through. And that's what'll happen. Yeah, and that's how we got through a lot of stuff, and that's going to play heavy in Ashes, which is going to be a lot of
bartering and stuff.
Yeah, there's going to be some PvP guilds that are going to be hiring themselves out to guard open world dungeons to keep anybody else from going in.
Yeah.
No,
well, even if
sorry.
you have two groups that collide technically because they're open world dungeons,
I'm so excited.
then you're going to have that aspect too.
There's the PvP guilds that get hired to just stand outside.
Game.
Yeah,
Guild XYZ is running it. You can't go in yet.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing with Missy, because Missy's not a PvPer. She hates PvP.
God, no.
And so I was like, well, technically, I was like, from what they've kind of talked about, it's almost you're going to be forced to PvP in some aspects of this game.
Like a
We'll
caravan.
just stick together. I'll protect you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be the healer.
How
I'll be
Tavern
me.
actually said about like the node guild control thing. So yeah, the guild community, like that's going to be the test, right? Because me and Missy actually had a podcast on this, or Cool Cats chats like right earlier on, of is the guild culture dead? And to be quite honest, my answer was yes, because I mean, you can get like, some certain amount of people, but even those people, it's like almost like everyone's like a bounty hunter. And once they've all been paid, they all disperse. Or just, it's hard to keep a group together because that group has so many different schedules, real life jobs, traveling, families, kids, like I said in the very beginning, you think you want it, but you really don't. So I think it's something that we're going to adjust over time. I don't think you'll ever put instant dungeons in this or raids. And I like that aspect. It's cool. Like all these things are cool, but are they real world 2023, 24 reality?
So actually just feeding off of that point, the last couple of points you made just right there. So I think it's going to be a dynamic that many people are not used to. But I think it's one that could really breathe life back into MMOs because, everybody has their life. They have the full-time job. Sometimes they have a second job, or they work overtime, or they're a supervisor, so they're always on call, and they have kids added into the mix and blah, blah, blah. But not to downplay any of that, but there's something to be said when you can find a group of people that have a very similar schedule or lifestyle to you that can plan around all those changes and all this and that. And let's say you get a group of there's a guild that runs across a bunch of different games, and it's
those big communities. I know Envious.
But it was a group of basically a bunch of people who were, hey, we're old and we have stuff. So they have like a raid group of like 25 people that are going to be able to go into a raid, and then they have like 6 standbys. Yep. And the standbys are there just in case. That way, if somebody gets called out to do this or that, they can still do the raid. Yeah. But there's something to be said for finding like-minded and like-timed, I guess for lack of better phrasing, people. That way you feel tighter bounds to this group. And suddenly you're going to find yourself doing more for your guild to make sure it stays together and it's successful. And people threaten your guild's lifestyle, and you go, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No. These are my people. These are my people.
Well, I think
that's
it also
where the node versus guild stuff is going to come into play too, because then that's going to cause some controversy, and you got to decide. Like, it took me a long time to find this group of people that are on my current same schedule shift, and we can actually raid because we cover each other's this and that. And sometimes somebody will yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a dynamic to get used to, but I think it'll make up for it in the end.
Yeah, one example of that Vertic and I faced is like we happened upon a guild that was East Coast time while we were on the West Coast. Like they're like, oh, at 9 o'clock we're doing this, and at 9 o'clock it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, but I'm still like in class at that time. I'm not going to be out of class until 9 o'clock my time, which is midnight here, and then everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Europe, and so like it's 9 hours for Pacific time, 6 hours for East Coast. Like I can't raid right now. Like I've even tried the European one, and it's just like, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I think, and I hope that any little like all aspects of this game, you know, minus in-game raiding dungeons, I hope like that's just a part of it, and I feel like that's just going to be a part of it, right? But like bringing up BDO again, is like training horses. You know, that is its own tunnel of content. Farming, its own tunnel of content. Bartering, its own tunnel of content. You know, like crafting. If you wanted to go grind mod, like, and everything that you're doing adds to your level, adds to your experience, adds to your character and your family of characters too. So I hope and I wish that that's what Ashes will have in it. So I hope they do something with alts and being able to have more than one character on one server. And if I play one character, it actually benefits my main, or my main benefits my, you know, because I don't think that hurts anything.
I like too that you do have to work together. You can't do everything yourself. So you have to have a gatherer, a processor, then a crafter. So 3 people have to work together because you can't do anything but one of those.
Right.
So I do like that aspect of it, because I was going to be a gatherer until I got scared of getting ganked. And so then I changed my mind and decided I want to own a dress shop. So I'm going to be a crafter. I can put my own design on things. And Chibi, you can have like some discount dresses.
I'll trade you potions. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah. Bartering. See? Bartering.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah. And I like that, you know, you can't go gather process yourself. You have to work with other people within your little community like you would in real life in order, you know, to come up with something and create something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to talk with other people?
Damn it.
You have to group up?
What is this?
I'm out.
It's like you're talking about massively multiplayer online game or something. What the heck?
No, like I said, I don't.
SPO RPG, the single player online RPG. That's my life.
Well, so, and that's the thing is like, I don't want people thinking like, oh, why is he being so negative? Like in all these aspects, it's just, I don't want the guild culture to be dead. I think a lot of it comes down to the fast food culture that our society as a whole has become. I want it now.
Yeah.
I don't got time. I want it now. I want instant gratification. I want all the trophies.
Brad is very pro.
And this game is, that's the thing. Yeah, we started guilds, and I was throwing prizes and different aspects of just being involved. Like you should normally be involved with the guild, and no one bid it. I was like, literally 150,000 gold worth of mounts I'm giving you just to participate in guild stuff, and no one still bought on. They're like, I don't care. I'm just like, and so, yeah. So just like, you know, so I hope like Ashes is going to stick. Like it was like, and I hope it stays strict in that point. It's just how much is the other wave of people that haven't really came our way yet. Like I said, that other 99% that's going to wash over, how much is that going to change? Because in the end, the dollar does dictate, you know, how much is that dollar going to dictate things?
Yeah.
I foresee it being a very, very first year after launch. A very, very difficult first year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. And if it comes out to be everything, it'll be my new MMO. Yeah, it's kind of like one thing with us. Is Final Fantasy and WoW, the structures on the paying form and your end game is based upon your gear, your weapons. Well, it's like, well, I want to get a better weapon. Well, I do more damage. Do you even raid? No. Why do you need a better weapon for? It's like, why are you putting all this time and paying for a game that you're in the end is all about the end game. I mean, there's tons of stuff in WoW. Like, I'm a collector of everything, but I still find myself, even in Final Fantasy, which I love, I'm like, why am I kind of playing these games? And so I've been playing BDO a lot right now. I'm putting all my effort into building the ship, and it takes time, a lot of time. But I get this really cool looking ship, and I feel like Ashes will be that way. Like, I want this Pegasus or this unicorn mount or this crazy looking bear, but I have to, like, it's going to take me 6 months to get it. But hey, like, there's actually something at the tunnel. There's no RNG. Everything I'm doing is actually progressing to that goal. And so.
And it's something you can't buy. It's because it defeats the purpose when you can spend 6 months doing something and somebody who has the money can go buy it in the shop.
Yeah.
You want, that's not gratifying.
Yeah.
Working towards something and completing your goal makes you feel amazing.
Well,
That's
I'll
why
be
I
a
quit
devil's
SWTOR.
advocate a little bit. What if it was a little bit of a different kind of gratifying? Like, what if, because I don't have the time to spend running stuff for 6 months to get to that good gear, but somebody else did, and then they're selling it on the marketplace, but I spent all of my time with crafting and trying to sell and trying to build up my money because I knew that I'm scared of PvP, so I didn't want to go out there. So I'm gonna wait until I can make enough money grinding my crafting and leveling my crafting stuff until I can buy better gear, so I'm not so scared to go out there. Like, perhaps.
But were
it's
you
a different
buying
kind
that
of
on the
gear.
market board, or are you buying
Yeah.
that like for real money in a shop?
Oh, like a market board, not okay. So you're talking about real money on a shop. Got it.
Like, hi,
Misunderstood.
ding, it's
Yeah.
you can have this ship now that Brad spent like 6 months building. $20, boom.
Yeah. Okay, that I feel. That I do.
But see, you're working towards it by selling things for a market board, so that's different. You're putting your time in another way.
You're playing the game.
Yeah,
You're actually playing the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Which Steven has stated. He has said, you got to play the game to get the stuff.
Right.
Like, you can buy stuff on their market, but
That
you can
doesn't
go
count
almost
if
get
you
the
don't have
equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because he said, like, there might be a cool sword on the market, but there's like another version of that sword.
Sorry, I knew that was.
Cora.
Oh, you're good.
Hey.
We usually end by now. So that's our roommate coming home. Hold on, excuse me.
Okay.
Coming.
As
We
this
got a
the dog's
vicious
like,
beast.
time.
Yeah. The vicious beast.
The vicious beast.
Funny.
How much does the vicious beast weigh?
Oh, like all of 7 pounds.
Yes. Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
what
no. She's the most adorable thing ever. She's like this big, and her fur will stand up to try to make her bigger, and she'll just be like barking like she's the meanest thing around, and you're like, you're not threatening, I'm sorry, you're adorable, you're not threatening.
Just noisy, and you
You're just
yell in
loud.
people's faces.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
nice. You don't yell at our friends.
He's like,
No,
I'm
like-
ready.
my dog will like get right up in your face, and she'll be excited, and then she'll just like bark really loudly in your face, and we're just like, excuse me, that's rude. You don't yell at people.
Yeah. Lady looks
Inside
like a
voice.
Sonic the Hedgehog when her hair goes whoosh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Poor lady.
on that topic, it's been a super long stream. This is a very bonus stream, I would say.
I believe this might be the longest one we've done.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
before we used to do
maybe-
1 hour live and then 1 hour of Q&A. We've been 2.5 hours live.
Wow.
Yeah, I think maybe one other time or 2 other times at most, and that's saying a lot because we went, like she was saying, for a good 6 months we were doing 1 hour podcast format and then 1 hour of just chilling and
Yeah,
Q&A stuff.
and
Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. Honestly, the thing that I've actually
Apologize, mister.
the thing that I've actually come to realize is I think chat, please let me know, because you guys are obviously live. This is why we love Twitch. I think you guys enjoy these conversational podcasts more than like structured, very short. I mean, there is a place for those, but I feel like on our show, at least, you enjoy more of the conversations and more of the just chatting about it kind of things. And I mean, I will be honest, at one point I was given advice, keep it at 45 minutes. People don't want to listen to anything longer. It's too long, like stuff like that. And I mean, sure, there's merit in that, but I'm also, as Inless and I were talking earlier, like we both do the tech stuff. So like I'm sitting there doing coding or something all day. So I am okay listening to something for 2 hours because that's something to listen to for 2 hours that I don't have to go hunt down something else to go listen to, you know, or like stuff like that. So part of it is with getting my internship, I am now more free on the evenings, which means that Fridays will be more open to having longer streams like this. So if that's what you guys would like, we would be more than happy to have more conversation. I hate cutting it off early.
Which we clearly did not do this time around.
Nope. I was like, let's just keep going, you know.
Yeah. No, I love talking about all this stuff, like because I'm very different. I'm older for a gamer. I don't really raid or PvP or do dungeons. I'm purely pretty dresses, story, music. Like for me, it's like being involved in a book without having to read it, but I can live it.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I'm in it for.
That's what I'm in it for too.
Yeah.
You go ahead and make me all the pretty dresses and shields, and I'll go get the loot from the dungeons.
He legit has worn a dress in game before, and it was funny. Like we both were playing Final Fantasy for a little while there, 14, and he copied my hairstyle. He had like the buns with like the hair, and like we matched exactly. It was. I loved it. I was like,
were you Makote?
Yes.
Maybe.
So I will say this: 14 was the game that first got me playing female characters. I tried playing male characters, and that game is female specific. Other than a few metal like plate wearing things, the armor definitely enhances the female physique in that game a lot better.
It tends to look more like a box on a guy.
Yeah. I hear
except for the paladin, some of the paladin armors, which is why I kept the paladin armors from like level 40 and 50 on my character.
He is obsessed with paladin. I love it.
Yeah, I'm in paladin. Well, that's Retribution Paladin on WoW. That's what Endless.
I miss gaming. I really miss gaming.
Yeah, we've been too busy for much gaming at all here lately.
I know. I hear you. I feel your pain.
Yeah, gaming
every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've been forced casual, and I've even gotten to that point where because I can't do those things in 14 and WoW anymore, it's almost taken that point where I'm just like, why am I even playing this? And so like BDO right now, I'm like, at least I'm working towards a ship that's going to look really cool. Like if you guys want to look at it, it's called the Karak. I think I'm saying it right, but the balanced one, it has an elk on the front of it. Yeah. Huge ship. It has like 18 cannons on both sides.
Goodness.
It's a like huge, beautiful ship. And I've been working my way there with it.
Get it.
So I'm on the last part of it. So when I get it, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm done. I'm done with gaming. That was my accomplishment.
I'll never see Brad again.
And we're tapping out.
Until I see Summoner and Bears.
Oh my gosh.
The Bears.
The Bears. That's what I always say. The Bears.
Final thoughts on, I mean, there's still a whole lot. Let me just say, guys, if you haven't seen the live stream from today, go read the transcripts, go rewatch it. There's still stuff that we haven't even covered in this conversation. 2.5 hours. There's still stuff we haven't covered. So go watch it. There's some pretty good information on there, especially some of the QA stuff.
The Kirin. Oh my gosh.
Yes. It's so pretty. There's 2 versions of the Kirin, and I think one of them is only NPC and the other's attainable or something. I want the snowy, icy one. It's so pretty. Oh.
Yeah, Missy, you said you like the cosmetic stuff. It's about an hour 3 or something like that into the VOD on Twitch.
Okay.
And I have 2 different versions of the Kirin, and they're not purchasable cosmetics. One is obtainable in the game, and the other one's going to be NPCs. So,
wow. Yeah. Okay, definitely got to check that out. Yeah.
Super excited. But, so, final thoughts? We head out?
I'll let you go.
Any closing statements about you guys and or your show? Give people your Your social
I'll
digits.
drop the
so to
socials
say.
again.
You take it away, Brad. You go ahead.
So, I mean, yeah, just in closing, like I said, I'm excited for Ashes. We're definitely, CGN's not all about Ashes. It's a part of it. We are looking for others to join us as far as, team members and all that stuff go. And we are looking for technically an actual going to be another streamer that's going to stream with Missy. So, and when this does become lucrative, money can be technically up there too. So, and like I said, we're doing everything from paranormal. You talked about space earlier. So I actually keep up with SpaceX and the Starship and all of its launches and all that stuff too. So, anything that's out there to cover, we're going to be covering 14, World of Warcraft. Those have been tapped, but Twitch is where we're going to be interacting with people. YouTube is where we're going to be a lot of actually where our content is. And our Ashes are going to be kind of changed up a little bit too. We're going to be recording ourselves actually doing it to kind of structure it a little bit more, get underneath that 30-minute, 45-minute mark. But then we're going to come back to stream it and interact, Q&A, all that fun stuff.
Nice.
I think we have coming up next is progression and leveling, or just progression. I don't know. So, or like I said, we have to try to stretch this out, right? So,
Right.
So my final thoughts is, thanks for inviting us on here. It was fun. Like I said, this is technically the thing that I find the most awesome of doing this. Talking with people in chat, but also interacting with others, meeting others. That's where I feed off of the most. And that's why communities like Missy could tell you, I've been striving, looking for other guilds. That's why I start my own guilds for the most part, because no one really does it, and everyone has a Discord now, and that's what kind of sucks too, is everyone has a Discord now, and because everyone has a Discord, that means everyone's not really a part of other people's Discords, because by the time everyone's a part of everyone else's Discord, they have 100 Discords that they're a part of.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that personally.
And like you see with ours, like I've set it up with categories. You have to react if you wanted to, I'm into real life topics. I'm into MMOs. I'm into this. You could see those, but it's so it's really hard on that aspect. I almost feel like when Discord was not known as well, it was a lot better. You could keep everyone in one Discord and be happy, but now everybody can have a Discord, and unless you start paying for it, then you really don't. And I think it was like $100 some odd, if not more, a month to give the max Discord settings, or bonuses or whatever. Yeah. So I'm hoping with CGN over time, we can kind of look to bring more people in under the same thing. Because like I said, if everyone is in their own Discord, no one's really a part of each other's Discord. So it's kind of like,
yeah, it's exactly what Bartik says. You have 100 Discord.
Yeah.
Feel bad about leaving any of them because you want to support people, but you don't actually check any of them.
Yeah.
And you have them all grouped together into little clumps.
Yes, when they came out with that. Yeah.
I haven't got that advanced yet. I still have a long string of stuff.
I have groups, but there's a million, because I'm doing the tech stuff, right? So I'm learning how to do software. So I've got my software group of Discords. I've got Ash's group of Discords. I've just got friends groups of Discords, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in over 100 Discords, and I don't know what to do.
No, I think I need to make
I just need to make the one folder that says I literally don't check any of these.
Yeah, I have
mute all.
Yeah, it's almost like we need to go back to buy a TeamSpeak server and then just go with that. Because that's the other thing, voice. I don't know about you, but it is hard to get people into voice. Even in a guild setting, I've looked at a guild, do you guys get into voice? No, not really. And I've checked 50 guilds across multiple games, and they're like, well, we just talk and chat. And I'm like, I can't text and move my character at the same time. I want to talk to you and play at the same time. Yeah. So.
And then there's my problem with the push to talk. And you're hitting, for me, it's tilde. So I'm hitting tilde in chat as I'm trying to push to talk. And I'm like, ugh, but you don't want to leave it open so you don't hear, as you're talking, right? So it's just Balance.
Yeah.
You could change that in the settings because I have an air conditioner right like 3 feet behind me, and it's on full power in the summer, and you can't hear it.
Nice.
But you can hear me. So
Caps lock a superior talking.
Use that sensitivity thing. Do it manually. Nope.
Yeah. Oh man.
It works.
Love it.
And then you can leave an open mic because the push to talk. It's like, no. I got 2 hands. I'm playing an MMO. I don't have time to push anything.
Right.
Other than my character forward. So.
Right. Exactly. Reinforce that you'll never type in chat. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I had a buddy that had the greatest idea. They did push to talk, but it was a foot pedal they plugged into their computer.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's their push to talk.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
See?
Lies.
See, I love smart people ideas.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
They work.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys again, yes, for having us. I'm glad that Brad has an outlet other than me to talk to about things in gaming. Some people that are a little more technical than I am because I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But I listen. But it's good that he has other people that are,
my friends listen too. They just get the glossy eye look, and I'm just like, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay.
And none of my friends, my close personal friends that I grew up with, not one gamer, not one nerd.
Aw, man, it's so hard. You're like, why?
Yeah.
Come on.
And they're like, you and that whatever. I'm like,
do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
yeah. And they glaze over. They're like,
Well, it'd be
and
like,
whatever.
it's kind of like, have you ever heard of BDO? And you're like, is that a term, a sexual term?
Yeah, they think it's like S&M. Come into like bondage.
Appetizer
Black Desert
Fridays
Online.
or what?
Right. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like,
Music band.
It's funny talking with or non-tech people, especially at work. Like they think anything they're gonna break the computer and they freak out, and it's like just restart the computer.
You'll be fine.
Rebootion is the solution. Is what I've.
Rebootion?
Rebootion is the solution.
Rebootion.
So
when is your guys' next show, podcast, video thing, whatever it is next?
As far as that was our meeting yesterday, was locking down schedules. So I'm going to be doing Saturdays, Sundays on Twitch. I started Final Fantasy 13 back in 14's event, so I need to finish that. I never actually played it, Saturday, Sundays I'll be the weekend guy until I get back to the States.
On Monday, Thursday. Because it's very hard for Brad and I to connect because I have to work up until 6 p.m. and that's midnight his time. So
yeah,
right.
Well, even
I have to separate.
Yeah,
and even Fridays, like I said, our next week we'll definitely do Ash's because I think it depends on when she gets off early, because if she gets off late we start at 2 and me staying up for another 4 hours after 2 o'clock in the morning, like I said, we're gonna be cutting that down. That's why we're changing things, but
definitely
only temporary. He'll be back in the US, so
but yeah, we just, as far as YouTube content, we just dropped my first Pokemon opening.
Nice.
There's technically 5 or 6 more I've already done. It's just Chris is uploading them. That's something too. If anyone ever like opening Magic cards, it's kind of like gambling, and so everything's different every time. You're doing the same thing like other people, but every pack's different. And I haven't collected since early 2000s, and that's when my mom and sister were like, you need to sell those cards, it's like worth $20, they'll never be worth anything, and now they're worth thousands of dollars a pack.
Right.
So it's like I think a Charizard first edition 10, it was like $300,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Spending.
So yeah.
Wow.
I think I looked on eBay, and for a non-first edition base set, they wanted $28,000. Unopened actual set. A first edition was $75,000.
Let me just get a car instead.
Yeah.
That'll bring me more joy.
I want to start looking through some of my old Magic cards. I got some old ones. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Definitely. I want to throw something with Magic real quick. Do you remember PS3 Eye of Judgment? Did you ever try that when it came out?
No, I didn't.
It was a technology that they gave up, and I'm just like, why? So you had the cards, little actual cards, and you laid them down, and it had the PlayStation camera, and you laid down the card on the mat, and it actually pulled up, like Star Wars, the actual monster from the card.
Nice.
And it's called Eye of Judgment, and when you actually moved it, the monster moved and attacked, and it showed everything, and they gave up on it. And I'm just like, it was literally like VR, like Magic Yu-Gi-Oh. It was like Yu-Gi-Oh coming to life for the most part.
Nice.
So yeah, good
The
times.
closest thing I got to that was the Spyro game. I forget what they were, but they're little monsters you'd put on the little portal, and they'd jump into the game, and you'd start playing that game. And when it starts to get almost dead, you'd knock that monster off and put another one on the portal real quick, and then suddenly you're playing that monster instead.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, what was that called? Yeah.
I don't know. I just know it was a kid's game, and I was teasing him for having it. I was like, because I remember getting it for a friend of mine's like 6-year-old boys, and they were like super in love with it.
And here I am, like, I just need like 3 more characters to complete all the achievements in the game. That's it. Just 6 more characters. It's like crack. You need to buy like 50 different characters at like 10 or 12 bucks a piece.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I
I
recollected.
am a completionist.
Yeah.
Skylanders. That's what it was. Skylanders.
Skylanders. Yep. Yeah, like I don't know if you remember Burger King back in the day, the Pokemon balls with the actual golden cards. I collected all of them finally.
I still have a Pikachu.
Nice. And then I got it from London, but Beast Wars Megatron, the Transformer T-Rex.
Oh, wow.
I just got him. I guess I bought it from one of the actual Guinness World Records guy that has the most collection. But yeah, I'm just like, I looked at it and I started messing with it, and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna break it. And I had to think about it. I'm like, man, this is over 20 years old. I'm like, damn. And I want to transform him at least once, I'm not like, and it's just, I don't want to break him.
No.
So it's kind of what I'm doing now. I haven't really collected things from like childhood and all that stuff. So I'm recollecting those things, but some of those things are expensive.
Yes.
They are.
That's a whole other chat.
Yeah.
Right. Before we get going too far into that direction.
Back in the day.
Yes, thank you both for coming on. Much
Thank
appreciated.
you.
It was
Thanks for having us.
quite the delight having you here.
Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah. We should do
Everybody
it
there in
again.
chat.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. You spent your time with us. It's a very valuable commodity, and we do thank you. We appreciate every minute you spend here.
Thanks
I'll
very
send you the
much.
bill.
Tavern said he's got me. He's got me covered.
Hey,
okay.
Tavern.
Just send the bill to him.
Really enjoyed the stream. Nice.
Well, I'll take one Alpha Key Tavern. we
Actually, Tavern had a giveaway. He might still have it floating around. Just enter the contest. You might get
I
it.
did.
Yeah.
I already did. I told him, and he's like, "May the odds ever in your favor." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, that's an instant loss.
Oh, man. So we're live every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, and we are excited to tell you guys next week who our guest is going to be. So hang tight. We're almost to Alpha 1, and I can't wait to see what unveils itself before then. And thank you so much, Missy and Les, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
I hope to have you on again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Be our pleasure.
Yeah. Until then, good night.
Night.
Later, everybody.